Once there was a man named Daniel who seemed to have everything on the surface: a stable job, a nice apartment, and friends who envied his life. But inside, he felt like a hollow shell. Each day felt heavier than the last, as if he were climbing a mountain with no summit in sight. Despite his outward success, Daniel was unhappy, restless, and consumed by a nagging feeling that he was wasting his life. One evening, after another soul-draining day at work, Daniel took a walk to clear his mind. He wandered aimlessly until he found himself in a small, dimly lit bookstore. Among the dusty shelves, a thin book with an unassuming cover caught his eye. It read, "Meditations by Marcus Aurelius." Intrigued, he flipped through the pages, and a single quote struck him like lightning. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Daniel purchased the book and began reading it that night. For the first time in months, he felt something shift within him, a glimmer of hope, a spark of understanding. The words of Marcus Aurelius spoke directly to his soul, offering him a roadmap for the questions he didn't even know how to ask. The next morning, Daniel decided to change how he approached his life. He started small. When his alarm rang, instead of hitting snooze and resenting the day ahead, he reminded himself, "I have the power to shape my morning." He made his bed, drank a glass of water, and sat quietly for 5 minutes to focus on his breath. These weren't grand gestures, but they set the tone for the day. At work, when his boss criticized his project, Daniel felt the familiar pang of defensiveness rising. But this time, he paused. He remembered another Stoic principle: we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Instead of reacting, he calmly asked for specific feedback. To his surprise, the conversation turned constructive, and he left the meeting feeling empowered rather than defeated. As weeks turned into months, Daniel noticed how his perspective began to change. He stopped blaming others or his circumstances for his unhappiness. Instead, he focused on what he could control: his thoughts, his actions, his attitude. He started journaling each night, reflecting on his day and asking himself, "Did I live true to my values today?" He discovered that purpose wasn't something you stumbled upon. It was something you created through your choices. The world around him didn't change. His job was still demanding. His social circle remained the same, and life's challenges continued to arise. But Daniel had changed. By embracing Stoic principles, he found an unshakable calm within himself, a compass that guided him even in turbulent times. One day a colleague asked him over lunch, "Daniel, what's your secret? You seem so at peace lately. How do you do it?" Daniel smiled and said, "I stopped trying to control the world and started focusing on controlling myself. You'd be amazed at how much power we have over our own happiness once we stop searching for it outside ourselves." That evening, as he closed his journal, Daniel wrote a single word at the top of the page: grateful. He wasn't perfect, and he still had his struggles, but for the first time in years, he felt grounded. Daniel realized he was no longer lost because he had finally found the one thing he had been missing all along: himself. Stoicism didn't give Daniel a new life. It gave him the tools to live his current life with purpose, clarity, and peace. And that made all the difference. Daniel's transformation is a story many of us can relate to on some level. On the surface, life may look fine, stable even, but underneath, there's a persistent sense of emptiness, that heavy, sinking feeling of aimlessness that no amount of distractions, achievements, or material comforts can shake. Daniel's story isn't unique because he found a purpose. It's unique because he recognized the power to change. His life was always within him. For so many people, the root of unhappiness lies in the lack of a clear purpose or goal. Life becomes a series of routines, obligations, and fleeting pleasures, none of which feel particularly fulfilling. Days blur into weeks, and weeks into years. And before long, you start questioning, what am I doing all this for? Without something to strive for, even the most successful or comfortable life can feel hollow. The truth is, humans are wired to seek meaning. We need something bigger than ourselves to work toward, a dream, a cause, or even a simple intention that lights a fire within us. Without it, life loses its color, and we find ourselves wandering through the days, weighed down by a vague yet persistent dissatisfaction. So how do we find purpose when it feels so elusive? The answer isn't as grand or complex as you might think. Purpose doesn't always come in the form of life-changing epiphanies or world-altering missions. For Daniel, it began with a book and a single quote that shifted his mindset. It was the realization that purpose isn't waiting for you out there somewhere. It's something you build piece by piece through intentional actions and choices. The first step to overcoming aimlessness is to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What do I want my life to stand for? This isn't about finding the perfect answer. It's about reconnecting with your inner values and desires, no matter how small they may seem. Maybe it's being a source of positivity for others, creating something meaningful, or simply living each day with mindfulness and gratitude. Once you have even a faint sense of what you care about, start taking small, deliberate actions. Purpose isn't discovered in a moment. It's cultivated over time. Begin by setting simple, achievable goals aligned with what you value. If you want to help others, volunteer an hour a week. If you value creativity, carve out 15 minutes a day to write, draw, or explore. These small steps build momentum, and with momentum comes clarity. Another powerful way to find purpose is to serve something greater than yourself. This doesn't have to mean saving the world. It can be as simple as contributing to your community, mentoring someone, or showing kindness to a stranger. When we shift our focus from "what's in it for me" to "how can I make a difference?", we often stumble upon a deeper sense of meaning. And finally, embrace the idea that purpose isn't static. It evolves as you grow and change. Allow yourself the freedom to explore, fail, and recalibrate. You don't have to have it all figured out today. What matters is that you're taking steps, however small, to create a life that feels intentional and fulfilling. Daniel didn't wake up one day with all the answers. He started by reading a book, reflecting on his values, and making small changes. Over time, those changes compounded into something powerful, a life filled with purpose, clarity, and peace. And that's a transformation that's possible for anyone willing to take the first step. The relationship between the mind and body is more profound than most people realize. We often treat them as separate entities, the mind as the command center and the body as its vehicle. But when this connection becomes strained or neglected, it creates a subtle yet powerful misalignment that affects every aspect of our lives. Many of us experience this without even realizing it. The heavy lethargy after a poor night's sleep, the irritability that follows a skipped meal, or the brain fog that creeps in after a day spent sedentary. This disconnect can leave you feeling lost and ungrounded. You may wonder why you're always tired, anxious, or unmotivated, blaming external circumstances while overlooking one of the most foundational truths. Your body's state has a direct impact on your mind. Neglecting physical health doesn't just wear down the body, it weighs on the mind, creating a cycle of mental and emotional instability. The Stoics recognized the vital importance of aligning the mind and body, emphasizing that a sound body is necessary for a sound mind. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." While this quote is often interpreted as a call for mental resilience, it also implies that control over the mind starts with control over your physical self. To bridge this gap, the first step is awareness. Pay attention to the signals your body is sending you. Are you constantly fatigued, experiencing unexplained aches, struggling to focus or stay calm? These aren't random occurrences. They're messages your body is trying to communicate. When you start listening, you can begin taking steps to restore balance. One of the most impactful ways to reconnect with your body is through movement. Exercise isn't just about aesthetics or physical health. It's a proven way to improve mental clarity, reduce stress, and boost mood. You don't need to run a marathon or lift heavy weights. Simple activities like walking, yoga, or even stretching can help you feel more present and aligned. These moments of movement create space for the mind to reset and the body to recharge. Another critical element is nutrition. What you fuel your body with profoundly affects your mental state. Highly processed, sugary foods might provide a temporary energy boost, but they often lead to crashes and irritability. On the other hand, a diet rich in whole, nutrient-dense foods can stabilize your energy levels and improve your overall well-being. Consider this not as a restriction, but as a form of self-respect, a way to honor the vessel that carries you through life. Sleep, often overlooked in today's hustle-driven culture, is perhaps the most important factor in maintaining the mind-body connection. Chronic sleep deprivation impairs decision-making, increases stress, and even disrupts emotional regulation. Make restful sleep a non-negotiable priority by creating a bedtime routine, limiting screen time before bed, and maintaining consistent sleep hours. Think of sleep as an investment in your mental clarity and emotional resilience. Mindfulness practices like meditation or deep breathing are also invaluable tools for realigning the mind and body. These practices create a moment of stillness where you can tune into your breath, release tension, and reconnect with the present moment. Even just a few minutes of intentional breathing can shift your mental state and help you feel more grounded. Finally, remember that this process is not about achieving perfection. It's about progress, gradually implementing habits that nurture both your physical and mental well-being. As you take small steps to care for your body, you'll begin to notice a ripple effect, a calmer mind, greater focus, and a renewed sense of purpose. The mind and body are not separate. They are two halves of the same whole, working together to navigate life's challenges. By restoring their alignment, you're not only healing yourself physically, but also creating a foundation for a healthier, more centered mind. This is where clarity and inner peace truly begin. Negative thoughts are like an unwelcome guest that overstays their welcome. They creep in uninvited, settle in your mind, and soon start dictating how you feel, act, and perceive the world. One fleeting negative thought can spiral into a pattern, creating a cycle of self-doubt, fear, and despair. Repeated often enough, they can trap you in a mental fog so thick that even small decisions feel overwhelming and progress seems impossible. Why do negative thoughts have such a strong hold? It's because our brains are wired for survival, not happiness. Evolutionarily, focusing on threats helped early humans survive. But in the modern world, where saber-toothed tigers are no longer a concern, this wiring causes us to fixate on imagined fears, past regrets, and worst-case scenarios. Over time, these thoughts don't just make us unhappy, they condition us to expect failure, avoid challenges, and hold ourselves back. The Stoics called this catastrophizing, a tendency to inflate problems beyond their actual size. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "Man is not troubled by events, but by the view he takes of them." In other words, it's not the situation itself that causes suffering, but how we think about it. If left unchecked, overwhelming negative thoughts can feel like carrying an invisible weight, one that grows heavier with each passing day. To break free from this cycle, the first step is awareness. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. When you notice a negative thought, don't push it away or try to suppress it. Instead, label it for what it is, a thought, not a fact. Imagine it as a cloud passing through the sky of your mind. It may darken your view for a moment, but it doesn't have to linger unless you let it. Next, challenge these thoughts. Ask yourself, is this true? Do I have evidence for this belief, or am I assuming the worst? Often you'll find that negative thoughts are based on exaggerations or fears rather than reality. For example, if you think, "I'll never be good enough," examine the evidence. Recall moments when you succeeded or overcame challenges. This practice helps reframe your perspective and weakens the grip of negativity. Gratitude is another powerful antidote to negative thinking. It's impossible to focus on what's going wrong and what's going right at the same time. Start small. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each day, no matter how trivial they seem. Over time, this practice trains your brain to notice the positives in life, creating a mental habit of appreciation rather than criticism. Physical action also plays a crucial role. Negative thoughts thrive in stagnation, so disrupt them with movement. Go for a walk, stretch, or clean your space. Any physical activity that gets you out of your head and into the present moment. This shift can clear mental clutter and create space for more balanced thinking. Breathing techniques inspired by Stoic practices can also help. When overwhelmed, pause and take a deep breath. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. This simple practice calms the nervous system and gives you a moment to regain control over your thoughts. It's also helpful to limit your exposure to negativity from external sources. Social media, news cycles, or toxic relationships can amplify negative thought patterns. Set boundaries to protect your mental space and curate what you consume to prioritize positivity and growth. Finally, remember that overcoming negative thoughts is not about eliminating them entirely. It's about reducing their power. Stoicism teaches that while we can't control every thought that arises, we can control how we respond to them. By practicing mindfulness, gratitude, and self-awareness, you can shift from being a victim of your mind to its master. Every time you challenge a negative thought or replace it with a constructive one, you're building mental resilience. This resilience becomes your shield, protecting you from being swept away by the tide of negativity. With time and consistent effort, you'll find that these thoughts lose their hold, making room for clarity, confidence, and a renewed sense of purpose. Depressive states can feel like a heavy fog, making even the smallest tasks seem impossible. Anxiety and fatigue-driven depression often go hand in hand, trapping individuals in a vicious cycle. Anxiety drains emotional reserves, while fatigue saps physical energy, leaving a person feeling paralyzed. The result is a sense of overwhelming inertia. Getting out of bed, preparing a meal, or even responding to a text can feel as monumental as climbing a mountain. What makes these depressive states so challenging is their insidious nature. They don't announce themselves loudly or dramatically. Instead, they creep in slowly, day by day, until you wake up one morning feeling utterly disconnected from the person you used to be. The things that once brought joy or meaning feel distant, and it's easy to start questioning whether they were ever real in the first place. The Stoics understood this internal struggle. They taught that while emotions like sadness or fear are natural, allowing them to dominate our lives is not. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This principle doesn't dismiss the weight of depression, it acknowledges it, but emphasizes the importance of taking small, intentional steps toward reclaiming control. Overcoming depressive states starts with breaking the cycle of inertia. When depression makes everything feel overwhelming, the key is to start small. Smaller than you think is meaningful. If getting out of bed feels impossible, set a goal to move just your legs to the floor. Celebrate that movement as a victory, because in the context of depression it is. These micro-actions begin to chip away at the immobility, giving you a foothold to build on. Anxiety-driven depression often amplifies feelings of chaos and unpredictability. To counter this, structure can be a lifeline. Create a simple, realistic routine for yourself, not one filled with ambitious goals, but one grounded in achievable actions. For example, plan to wake up at the same time every day, drink a glass of water, and take a few deep breaths. Consistency, even in small things, can provide a sense of stability in an otherwise turbulent mental state. Physical movement, though daunting, is another powerful tool. Depression and fatigue make exercise seem like an impossible feat, but you don't need to run a marathon to feel its benefits. Start with 5 minutes of stretching, walking, or even standing outside in fresh air. Physical activity releases endorphins, which act as natural mood elevators. It also disrupts the stagnant energy that depression feeds on, creating momentum for positive change. Mindfulness can be a helpful ally as well. Depression often drags your thoughts into the past or future, regretting what was or fearing what might be. Mindfulness anchors you in the present moment, where the weight of those thoughts holds less power. Practice simply observing your breath or noticing the sensations around you. These practices don't fix depression, but they create moments of relief and clarity, reminding you that you're more than your current state. Sleep hygiene is another critical area to address. Fatigue-driven depression is often exacerbated by poor sleep habits. Set a consistent bedtime, limit screen time before sleep, and create a calming pre-sleep ritual, like reading or meditating. Quality sleep is foundational for both physical and mental recovery, yet it's often one of the first things neglected in times of struggle. Social connection, though it may feel like the last thing you want, can also be profoundly healing. Depression isolates, convincing you that no one can understand or help. Yet reaching out to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist can remind you that you're not alone. Start small: a text, a short phone call, or even sitting quietly with someone you trust. Human connection has a way of breaking through the walls that depression builds. Finally, approach yourself with compassion. Depression has a cruel way of making you your own worst critic, But this is the time to be gentle with yourself. Recognize that depression is not a flaw or weakness. It's a signal that your mind and body need care. Celebrate small victories, forgive setbacks, and remind yourself that healing is a process, not a race. The Stoics believed in the power of persistence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well." While depression feels far from endurable, this quote reminds us that even the darkest times are temporary. By taking small, consistent steps and focusing on what is within your power, you can gradually move through the fog. The journey is not easy, but it's one worth taking, because your well-being, your peace, and your life are worth fighting for. The inability to manage emotional states is one of the most common reasons people feel stuck. Emotions like stress, fear, and sadness can often feel like a tidal wave, overwhelming your ability to think clearly or act decisively. These feelings, while natural, can quickly become barriers to progress if they aren't properly understood and managed. Why do these emotions have such a strong grip? At their core, emotions are signals, our body's way of communicating with us about what's happening in our internal and external world. Stress might indicate a perceived threat or excessive demands. Fear might be a warning of potential danger, and sadness may be a signal of loss or unmet expectations. The problem arises when these emotions are left unchecked, magnifying beyond their purpose and creating a sense of paralysis. Take stress, for example. It can be a motivator in small doses, pushing us to complete tasks or meet deadlines. But when it's chronic or unmanaged, stress becomes toxic, leading to burnout, irritability, and physical exhaustion. Fear, too, can protect us from harm, but irrational fears or persistent anxiety can prevent us from taking risks or seizing opportunities. Similarly, sadness is a natural response to loss, but if it lingers too long, it can sap energy and hope, leading to a deeper sense of despair. The Stoics had a term for unregulated emotions, passions. They believed that unchecked emotions, driven by impulse rather than reason, lead to suffering. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom points to a critical truth. While we cannot always control what we feel, we can control how we respond. Managing emotional states begins with acknowledgement. Often we're taught to suppress or ignore uncomfortable emotions, but this only pushes them deeper, where they continue to fester. Instead, give yourself permission to feel. Label the emotion. I'm feeling stressed, I'm afraid, or I'm sad. By naming it, you create a degree of separation, making the emotion feel less consuming. Once you've identified the emotion, dig deeper to understand its source. Is your stress coming from a specific task or the pressure to be perfect? Is your fear rooted in a real threat or a perceived one? Is your sadness tied to a current event, or is it the accumulation of unresolved issues? Understanding the root cause helps you address the emotion rather than just its surface symptoms. Breathing techniques and mindfulness are powerful tools for regulating emotions. When you're feeling overwhelmed, pause and take a few deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 6. This not only calms your body's stress response, but also gives you a moment to regain mental clarity. Physical activity is another effective way to manage emotions. Stress, fear, and sadness are stored not just in the mind, but also in the body. Movement, whether it's a brisk walk, a yoga session, or even simple stretches, releases tension and restores a sense of control. As you move, you shift your focus from the emotion to the action, breaking the cycle of emotional overwhelm. Journaling can also be transformative. Writing down what you're feeling allows you to process emotions in a structured way. It's a safe space to vent without judgment, and it can often reveal patterns or insights that help you navigate future emotional challenges. In moments of intense emotion, grounding exercises can provide immediate relief. Try focusing on your senses. What can you see, hear, feel, smell, or taste right now? This practice anchors you in the present moment, preventing your mind from spiraling into worst-case scenarios. Another key to emotional regulation is reframing your perspective. Instead of viewing stress as an enemy, see it as a signal to reassess priorities. Instead of fearing failure, view it as an opportunity to learn. Instead of letting sadness consume you, use it as a reminder of what you value and why it matters. Finally, cultivate a practice of gratitude and self-compassion. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel what you're feeling. Emotions are part of being human, not a sign of weakness. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer a close friend. Over time, these practices build emotional resilience, the ability to experience emotions without being controlled by them. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel stress, fear, or sadness. It means you'll have the tools to navigate these emotions, learn from them, and move forward with clarity and purpose. When you manage your emotional states, you reclaim your power, turning obstacles into stepping stones toward growth. Depression often announces itself not just in the mind, but through the body. Its manifestations can be subtle, like a lingering fatigue that seems impossible to shake, or glaringly obvious, like slouched posture, tense shoulders, or a gut that churns with unease. These physical symptoms don't just accompany emotional struggles, they amplify them, creating a feedback loop that can make depression feel insurmountable. Imagine a day when you're exhausted before you even begin. Your body feels heavy, your movements are sluggish, and every small task feels like lifting a mountain. This physical fatigue reinforces feelings of inadequacy or hopelessness, convincing you that you're incapable of progress. Similarly, poor posture, hunched shoulders, a downward gaze, or a collapsed chest communicates defeat to both your mind and the world around you. These signals aren't just aesthetic. They affect how you feel and act. The connection between body and mind is undeniable, and when one suffers, the other often follows. Even the gut isn't immune. Scientists have discovered a profound link between gut health and mental well-being. The gut, often called the second brain, plays a key role in producing serotonin, a neurotransmitter that regulates mood. When depression strikes, gut health often deteriorates, leading to discomfort, digestive issues, and a worsened emotional state. This creates a vicious cycle. Poor mental health affects the gut, and a struggling gut exacerbates mental health challenges. Stoicism offers a lens through which to break this cycle. The philosophy emphasizes the power of action, small, deliberate steps that align the body and mind toward well-being. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In the context of physical manifestations of depression, this means recognizing the mind-body connection and actively working to restore balance. One of the most immediate ways to address these physical symptoms is through posture. Straighten your back, lift your chest, and hold your head high. not as a performance for others, but as a statement to yourself. Research shows that an open, upright posture can reduce stress hormones like cortisol and increase confidence-boosting hormones like testosterone. Standing tall can feel unnatural at first, but over time, this physical adjustment will influence your mental state, reinforcing feelings of strength and resilience. Movement is another powerful tool. Depression often anchors you in stillness, making even small actions feel monumental. But any movement, no matter how small, begins to break this grip. Start with something manageable, stretching your arms, walking around your home, or doing light yoga. These actions release endorphins, the body's natural mood lifters, and gradually reintroduce vitality to your system. If possible, engage in activities that incorporate rhythm and repetition, like walking, swimming, or dancing, which can have a meditative, calming effect. Addressing gut health can also yield significant improvements. Simple dietary changes, like reducing processed foods, incorporating fiber, and eating fermented foods like yogurt or kimchi, can help support a healthy gut microbiome. Drinking water, prioritizing whole foods, and even experimenting with probiotics can improve gut function, indirectly boosting your mood and energy levels. Breathing exercises are another gateway to relief. Depression often brings shallow, irregular breathing, which can signal stress to the brain. Deep, diaphragmatic breathing calms the nervous system and oxygenates the body, providing clarity and reducing physical tension. Try inhaling deeply for a count of 4, holding for 4, and exhaling for 6. Repeat this cycle several times when you feel overwhelmed. Stoic practices like journaling can also help you connect the physical with the emotional. Write about how your body feels. Are you tense, tired, or restless? Explore how these sensations relate to your thoughts and emotions. This reflective practice can uncover patterns and help you identify small, actionable changes. Additionally, seek connection. Depression often isolates, but human interaction can counteract its physical and emotional grip. Call a friend, join a class, or spend time in nature. Even brief interactions can remind you that you're not alone, offering support and perspective. It's important to recognize that while these steps can ease the physical manifestations of depression, professional help is often necessary. A therapist or doctor can provide guidance, tools, or treatments tailored to your needs. Seeking help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a courageous act of self-care. By addressing the physical manifestations of depression, you're not just treating symptoms, you're building a foundation for healing. Every small action, a deep breath, a short walk, a healthy meal, is a step toward breaking the cycle. Over time, these choices create momentum, reminding you of your strength and your capacity to overcome even the heaviest burdens. Depression may weigh you down, but with consistent effort, you can lighten the load and reclaim both your mind and body. The absence of healthy routines is like trying to navigate through life without a map. It leaves you adrift, unanchored, and vulnerable to the whims of daily chaos. When consistent habits like exercise, proper sleep, or even exposure to sunlight are missing, your body and mind suffer. Over time, this neglect creates a fertile ground for depressive states, where the weight of even simple tasks feels insurmountable. Healthy routines act as a foundation for mental and physical well-being. They bring structure to your day, creating a sense of stability and control that can counteract feelings of aimlessness. But when these routines are absent, you may find yourself stuck in a cycle of inactivity and fatigue. The human body thrives on rhythm, regular patterns that signal when to wake, move, and rest. Without them, your energy levels, mood, and even decision-making abilities take a hit. Consider the impact of neglecting exercise. Movement isn't just about physical fitness, it's a natural antidepressant. Physical activity releases endorphins, chemicals in the brain that elevate mood and reduce stress. A lack of movement, on the other hand, can leave you feeling lethargic and emotionally drained. Similarly, sunlight exposure plays a critical role in regulating your circadian rhythm and boosting serotonin levels, the feel-good hormone. Without it, your body can struggle to maintain energy and emotional balance, especially during darker seasons. Sleep, too, is essential. Irregular sleep patterns disrupt your brain's ability to process emotions and manage stress. It's during sleep that your body repairs itself and your mind consolidates memories and clears mental clutter. Skipping on restful nights leads to irritability, difficulty concentrating, and a deeper sense of malaise. To break free from the grip of unhealthy patterns, start by understanding that small, intentional changes can create a ripple effect. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. In fact, attempting too much at once can feel overwhelming and lead to burnout. Instead, focus on introducing 1 or 2 manageable habits at a time, allowing them to take root before adding more. Begin with movement. If a full workout feels daunting, start small. Commit to a 10-minute walk each day. Not only does walking improve circulation and mood, but it also gives you a chance to clear your mind and reconnect with your surroundings. Over time, you might find yourself naturally extending those walks or exploring other forms of exercise like yoga, cycling, or weightlifting. The key is to choose something you enjoy, movement that feels less like a chore and more like self-care. Next, prioritize exposure to natural light. Start your morning by stepping outside, even if it's just for a few minutes. If you live in a place with limited sunlight, especially during winter months, consider investing in a light therapy box. These devices mimic natural sunlight and can help regulate your mood and energy levels. Establishing a consistent sleep routine is equally critical. Aim to wake up and go to bed at the same time each day, even on weekends. Create a wind-down ritual that signals to your brain it's time to rest. This might include reading a book, dimming the lights, or practicing mindfulness exercises. Limit screen time before bed, as the blue light from devices can interfere with your body's natural sleep signals. Don't underestimate the power of mindful nutrition. A balanced diet, rich in whole foods, fuels your body and mind. Incorporate plenty of fresh vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Stay hydrated, as even mild dehydration can impact mood and focus. If cooking feels overwhelming, start with simple, nutritious recipes or meal prepping strategies to make healthy eating more accessible. To anchor these routines into your life, tie them to existing habits. For example, drink a glass of water immediately after brushing your teeth, or do a few stretches after your morning coffee. These habit-stacking techniques make it easier to build new routines by attaching them to ones you already follow. Lastly, track your progress. Keep a journal to note how these changes affect your mood, energy, and overall well-being. Seeing your small wins on paper can motivate you to keep going and remind you of how far you've come. Remember, routines are not about perfection. They're about consistency. Life will throw challenges your way, And there will be days when your routine is disrupted. That's okay. What matters is returning to your habits when you can, understanding that each small step builds momentum. By creating and maintaining healthy routines, you provide your mind and body with the nourishment they need to thrive. Over time, these practices will become second nature, and their benefits will ripple into every aspect of your life, lifting you out of the fog and into clarity and strength. Unhealthy coping mechanisms can feel like a warm, temporary refuge in the storm, but they often end up being the very chains that keep you stuck. When life feels overwhelming, it's natural to seek comfort in familiar habits. Overeating, staying up late watching endless TV episodes, or clinging to toxic relationships because the idea of being alone feels unbearable. These habits might provide a fleeting sense of relief, but over time, they trap you in a cycle of self-sabotage, making it even harder to escape the very problems you're trying to avoid. Think about it. Overeating might give you momentary comfort, but it leaves you feeling sluggish and regretful afterward. Staying up late might feel like an escape from the stresses of the day, but the lack of sleep compounds your emotional and physical exhaustion. And remaining in toxic relationships may seem safer than facing the uncertainty of change, but it erodes your self-esteem and keeps you anchored in unhappiness. These coping mechanisms don't solve the problem, they amplify it, creating a downward spiral that feels impossible to break. To step out of this cycle, it's crucial to recognize the patterns for what they are: responses to pain, stress, or fear. These behaviors are your mind's way of protecting you from discomfort, but they often come at a high cost. Awareness is the first step. Start by identifying the moments when you turn to these unhealthy habits. What triggers them? Is it stress at work, feelings of loneliness, or unresolved conflicts? Pinpointing the root causes helps you address the underlying issues instead of merely treating the symptoms. Once you've identified the triggers, it's time to replace these destructive habits with healthier coping strategies. This isn't about willpower. It's about giving your mind and body better tools to navigate life's challenges. For example, if stress at work drives you to overeat, consider redirecting that energy into physical activity. Exercise is a proven stress reliever, releasing endorphins that boost your mood and help you regain a sense of control. Even a short walk or a few minutes of stretching can work wonders. If loneliness or boredom is the issue, seek meaningful connections instead of clinging to toxic relationships. Call a supportive friend, join a club or group that aligns with your interests, or explore hobbies that bring you joy. Building healthy connections can remind you that you're not alone and that your worth isn't tied to people who drain your energy. For those who struggle with staying up late to escape the day, create a calming evening routine. Replace mindless scrolling or binge-watching with activities that genuinely nourish you, like reading, meditating, or journaling. Reflect on the day's challenges and victories, and use this time to set intentions for tomorrow. By creating a sense of closure for the day, you can go to bed with a calmer mind and wake up feeling more in control. Breaking free from toxic relationships requires courage and self-respect. It's essential to set boundaries and prioritize your well-being. If the thought of leaving feels daunting, start small. Limit your interactions with people who bring negativity into your life and surround yourself with those who uplift and support you. Therapy or counseling can be invaluable in helping you navigate these difficult transitions, providing guidance and clarity as you take steps toward healthier relationships. Mindfulness is another powerful tool in combating unhealthy coping mechanisms. When you feel the urge to engage in a destructive habit, pause and check in with yourself. Ask, what am I really feeling right now? What do I actually need? Often, the act of pausing and acknowledging your emotions can help you make more conscious choices. Instead of reaching for a bag of chips, you might realize you're simply tired and need rest. Instead of sending a message to a toxic ex, you might recognize you're seeking validation and can find healthier ways to affirm your worth. Finally, practice self-compassion. Breaking free from unhealthy coping mechanisms isn't a linear journey. There will be setbacks, moments when the old habits resurface. That's okay. What matters is your commitment to keep moving forward. Celebrate small victories, like choosing a healthy meal over junk food or going to bed on time instead of staying up late. These small wins build momentum, reminding you that change is possible. By replacing unhealthy coping mechanisms with intentional life-affirming habits, you not only break the cycle of negativity, but also lay the foundation for lasting growth. Over time, these new behaviors become second nature, equipping you to face challenges with resilience and clarity. You don't need to escape your life through destructive patterns. You have the power to build a life you no longer want to escape from. Knowing what needs to be done, and yet feeling paralyzed to act, can be one of the most frustrating cycles of unhappiness. You've read the advice: move your body, get more sleep, eat nutritious foods, meditate. Logically, it all makes sense. You might even feel a flicker of motivation when you think about implementing these changes. But when the moment comes to act, the weight of inaction feels overwhelming. This state isn't laziness. It's often the result of being too far into the spiral of unhappiness or even depression to muster the energy for change. Failure to act on tools for change is a common experience for those feeling stuck. It's as though you're standing at the edge of a vast ocean, knowing you need to cross, but feeling too exhausted to take the first step into the water. The problem isn't that you don't know what to do. It's that the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels insurmountable. This is where understanding momentum becomes crucial. Instead of focusing on the big picture or drastic changes, it's essential to start with the smallest, most manageable action. The key is to lower the barrier to entry so much that it feels almost effortless. Can't commit to a full workout? Start with a single stretch or a walk around the block. Too tired to prepare a healthy meal? Add one piece of fruit to your snack instead of overhauling your entire diet. Struggling to meditate? Sit in silence for 1 minute. These small actions might seem insignificant, but they carry immense power. They break the inertia of inaction. One of the reasons people struggle to act is the tendency to catastrophize the effort required. The brain magnifies tasks, making them seem monumental. This is why it's so important to reframe your perspective. Instead of thinking, I need to change my entire life, focus on, what is one small thing I can do right now to feel slightly better? The goal is progress, not perfection. Over time, these small actions compound, creating momentum that makes larger changes feel more achievable. Another critical aspect of overcoming inaction is acknowledging the role of self-compassion. Often, people in this state berate themselves for not doing enough, for being lazy or unmotivated. This internal criticism only deepens the paralysis. Instead, try speaking to yourself as you would to a close friend. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel overwhelmed and that taking small steps is still progress. Celebrate even the tiniest victories, like drinking a glass of water when you wanted to skip hydration altogether. self-kindness can create the psychological safety needed to take that first step. Externalizing motivation can also be a helpful strategy. When you feel incapable of taking action for your own sake, consider how your actions might benefit others. For example, walking for 10 minutes might seem unimportant for you, but if framed as an act of self-care that helps you be more present for your loved ones, it takes on greater significance. This shift in focus can provide the push needed to begin. Another approach is to create an environment that supports action without requiring willpower. Lay out workout clothes the night before to make it easier to exercise in the morning. Remove junk food from your immediate environment and replace it with healthier options. Automate habits as much as possible. Set alarms or reminders for sleep, meals, or movement. When the effort required to start is minimized, action becomes more likely. For those who feel too far into depression or unhappiness to act, it's also important to seek external support. Friends, family, or mental health professionals can provide accountability, encouragement, and guidance. Sometimes the first step isn't something you do alone. It's asking someone else to help you get started. Lastly, remember the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Focus on what is within your control, no matter how small. You may not have the energy to transform your life overnight, but you can always choose one action, however modest, that aligns with your well-being. Each choice reinforces the belief that change is possible, creating a ripple effect that can eventually lead to profound transformation. By embracing incremental steps, practicing self-compassion, and seeking support when needed, you can break the cycle of inaction. The tools for change are within your reach. They only require a single act of courage to set the process in motion. Start small, stay consistent, and trust that even the smallest spark can ignite a lasting fire. Relying on external validation can feel like chasing a mirage in the desert. It offers fleeting relief, yet leaves you thirsting for more. In a world where likes, compliments, and recognition are just a tap or word away, it's easy to fall into the trap of letting others determine your worth. This dependency creates a fragile foundation for happiness, one that can crumble with a single unkind comment or a lack of acknowledgement. The result? A life lived on a seesaw of approval and rejection, where fulfillment feels perpetually out of reach. The problem with over-reliance on external validation is that it hands over your sense of worth to forces beyond your control. If a promotion at work, praise from friends, or the admiration of a partner is the only way you feel valuable, then their absence leaves you questioning your significance. This creates a constant need to perform, prove, and please, which is not only exhausting, but also deeply unfulfilling. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole at the bottom. No matter how much pours in, it never feels enough. To overcome this, the solution lies in cultivating internal validation. It begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of seeking approval from others, learn to affirm yourself. Start by recognizing and celebrating your accomplishments, big or small, without waiting for someone else to notice. Did you complete a task today? Acknowledge it. Did you handle a challenging situation with grace? Give yourself credit. These acts of self-recognition may feel unnatural at first, but over time, they strengthen your inner sense of worth. Self-reflection plays a critical role in this process. Take time to identify what truly matters to you, independent of societal expectations or external opinions. What are your core values? What kind of person do you aspire to be? When you align your actions with your values, you create a deep sense of purpose that no external validation can replicate. You begin to measure success not by applause, but by how closely you live according to your principles. Another way to break free from this dependence is to embrace imperfection. The quest for external validation often stems from a fear of being judged for your flaws. By accepting yourself as you are, you reduce the power that others' opinions hold over you. Practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes and has insecurities. When you are kind to yourself in moments of failure, you build resilience against the sting of criticism or rejection. It's also helpful to reevaluate the relationships in your life. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth and appreciate you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and authenticity, not the constant need to seek approval or impress. One powerful practice is journaling. Spend a few minutes each day writing down things you're proud of or moments when you stayed true to yourself. This creates a tangible record of your internal growth and achievements, helping you anchor your worth in something lasting and meaningful. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to look inward for validation instead of outward. Stoicism provides profound insights into overcoming this reliance. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Reflect on this truth and challenge yourself to prioritize your inner voice over external noise. You have the power to decide your value. Others' opinions are just fleeting echoes. As you build internal validation, you'll find a sense of freedom that external approval could never provide. You'll be able to take risks, embrace authenticity, and pursue goals without the fear of how others might perceive you. The applause will no longer define you. Your unwavering belief in yourself will, and that is a foundation no one can take away. A lack of emotional awareness can feel like being dropped into the middle of an unfamiliar city without a map. You sense you're in motion, but you're not sure where you're headed or why. When you struggle to identify and understand your emotions, life becomes a foggy maze of reactions rather than intentional responses. Misinterpreting feelings or being unable to articulate them leads to frustration, confusion, and often disconnection from others and yourself. Emotional awareness is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions in a way that aligns with your values and goals. Without it, emotions like anger, sadness, or even happiness may feel overwhelming or fleeting. You might lash out in frustration, withdraw when feeling hurt, or downplay moments of joy because you haven't learned how to name or process what's happening internally. This disconnect can leave you feeling out of control, alienated, or as though life is slipping by without clarity or meaning. The root of emotional unawareness often lies in how emotions are approached. Many of us grow up internalizing the idea that certain feelings are bad and should be suppressed. For example, anger is often labeled as destructive, sadness as weakness, or vulnerability as something to be avoided. Over time, we learn to ignore these emotions, labeling them only as good or bad, rather than exploring what they are trying to tell us. The first step to overcoming this is recognizing that emotions are neither good nor bad. They are information. Each emotion carries a message about your needs, boundaries, or desires. For instance, anger often signals a perceived injustice. Sadness may point to a sense of loss, and fear often indicates a need for caution or preparation. Instead of running from these feelings, practice sitting with them and asking, "What is this emotion trying to tell me?" Journaling is a practical way to build emotional awareness. At the end of each day, write about moments when you felt a strong emotion, even if you're unsure what it was. Use prompts like, "What happened?" "How did I feel?" and "What might have caused this reaction?" Over time, patterns will emerge, helping you recognize and articulate your emotions with greater clarity. Mindfulness is another powerful tool. When you notice a strong emotion rising, pause and focus on your breath. Observe the physical sensations that accompany the emotion: tightness in the chest, warmth in the face, or restlessness in the hands. Label the emotion: "This is anger," "This is sadness," or "This is anxiety." Simply naming the emotion can reduce its intensity and give you space to respond rather than react. Another way to deepen emotional awareness is by expanding your emotional vocabulary. Many people default to basic terms like good or bad when describing their feelings, but there is a wide spectrum of emotions to explore. Instead of angry, could you be frustrated, irritated, or betrayed? Instead of happy, could you be content, excited, or grateful? Learning to differentiate between these subtleties helps you better understand your internal world and communicate with others. Stoic philosophy also provides a framework for understanding emotions without being controlled by them. The Stoics taught that emotions are natural but should be examined with reason. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Apply this principle by reflecting on whether your emotions are rooted in something you can control or something external. This practice fosters a sense of perspective and balance, helping you navigate emotions with greater clarity. Building emotional awareness also strengthens your relationships. When you understand your emotions, you can communicate them more effectively, fostering deeper connections with others. Instead of saying, "I'm fine," when you're clearly not, you can express, "I'm feeling overwhelmed because of X," giving others the chance to support and understand you. Remember, developing emotional awareness is not about perfection, it's about progress. Be patient with yourself as you learn to navigate your inner world. Over time, this practice transforms emotional confusion into clarity, helping you live with greater intention, connection, and peace. The more you understand your emotions, the more they become allies rather than obstacles on your path to fulfillment. Burnout and overwhelm creep into life quietly, often disguised as determination or ambition. You tell yourself that you're just pushing through a tough week or catching up on overdue tasks. But over time, the stress piles up like bricks, weighing you down until even the smallest tasks feel insurmountable. Burnout isn't just exhaustion. It's a complete depletion of your emotional, physical, and mental resources. It leaves you feeling like a hollow version of yourself, disconnected from purpose and joy. One of the reasons burnout is so pervasive is the culture that glorifies being busy. Rest becomes a luxury, something earned after achieving success, rather than a necessity for sustainable living. You might convince yourself that working late into the night or taking on more responsibilities will eventually pay off. But instead of reaching the summit of productivity, you find yourself stuck in a fog of fatigue and resentment, questioning why you feel so drained despite your efforts. Burnout happens when stress becomes chronic and recovery is neglected. Stress in itself isn't the enemy. It's a natural response to challenges. In manageable doses, it can even be motivating. The problem arises when there's no balance between stress and restoration. Like a phone battery that's never fully recharged, You start operating on reserves, and eventually you crash. The first step to overcoming burnout is recognizing it. Burnout often manifests as emotional exhaustion, where you feel detached or cynical about your work or relationships. Tasks that once energized you now feel like burdens. Physically, you might experience headaches, sleep disturbances, or frequent illness as your body struggles to cope. Mentally, burnout clouds your thinking, making it harder to concentrate or make decisions. Once you've identified burnout, the next step is reclaiming balance. The Stoics offer timeless wisdom here. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. While you may not have control over the demands placed on you, you have control over how you manage your time, energy, and mindset." Start by prioritizing recovery. Many people believe rest is passive, but in reality, it's an active process of rejuvenation. Schedule time for activities that nourish you, whether it's a walk in nature, reading, meditating, or spending quality time with loved ones. Treat these moments as essential appointments, not optional extras. Recovery is not a reward. It's the foundation that allows you to show up fully for life. Next, reassess your commitments. Overwhelm often stems from trying to do too much at once. Take a step back and evaluate your responsibilities. Are there tasks or obligations you've taken on out of guilt or habit rather than necessity? Practice the Stoic principle of focusing on what's within your control. Learn to say no when needed, recognizing that every yes to one thing is a no to something else. Saying no to unnecessary stress is saying yes to your well-being. Developing daily rituals can also help combat burnout. Simple routines, like starting your morning with 5 minutes of quiet reflection or ending your day by listing 3 things you're grateful for, create anchors of stability amidst chaos. These small practices ground you, reminding you that even in busy seasons, there's room for calm. Another vital component is cultivating self-compassion. When overwhelmed, it's easy to criticize yourself for not doing more or for feeling weak. But the Stoics teach that self-discipline must be tempered with kindness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul." Allow yourself grace and patience as you navigate recovery, recognizing that your worth isn't measured by productivity alone. Lastly, reconnect with what gives your life meaning. Burnout thrives in environments where actions feel disconnected from purpose. Reflect on why you do what you do. Are your efforts aligned with your values, or are you caught in a cycle of busyness for its own sake? When you focus on what truly matters, you'll find it easier to let go of what doesn't and protect your energy for what does. Overcoming burnout isn't about eliminating stress entirely. It's about building resilience and restoring balance. By prioritizing recovery, setting boundaries, and reconnecting with purpose, you can regain the energy and clarity to face life's challenges with strength. Remember, your well-being isn't a side project. It's the foundation for everything else. Invest in it, and you'll find yourself not just surviving, but thriving, even amidst life's demands. Effort is often seen as a means to an end, a step toward achieving a goal or reaching a destination. People push themselves forward with their eyes locked on the outcome, whether it's a promotion, a finished project, or a specific milestone, and measure success only by whether they reach that end point. But when the outcome takes longer than expected or doesn't align with their expectations, frustration sets in. They start feeling as though their efforts are wasted, questioning whether the journey is even worth it. This inability to reframe effort as meaningful in itself leads to disillusionment and a lack of motivation. Take a moment to consider how much time you've spent striving towards something that didn't work out the way you hoped. Maybe it was a relationship that fell apart despite all the energy you invested, or a job you poured yourself into only to be overlooked for recognition. In these moments, it's easy to feel like your effort was in vain. This mindset can quickly spiral into a sense of helplessness, where you avoid trying altogether because you fear the sting of failure. The Stoics, however, offer a liberating perspective. They teach that the value of effort lies not in what you achieve, but in who you become through the process. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life." This doesn't mean living recklessly or in constant urgency. Instead, it's about embracing each action as meaningful, regardless of the outcome. When you focus on the quality of your effort, you free yourself from the weight of external results. The first step to overcoming the inability to reframe effort is recognizing the intrinsic value of the process itself. Ask yourself, what am I learning? How am I growing? Each effort, even if it doesn't lead to the result you wanted, contributes to your resilience, discipline, and self-awareness. For example, training for a marathon and not finishing due to an injury might feel like failure, but the discipline you built during the months of preparation is still a win. Those habits and lessons carry forward into other areas of your life. A powerful way to reframe effort is by rewarding yourself for the act of showing up, not just for the results. This can be as simple as acknowledging the work you've done each day. At the end of your day, take a moment to reflect. What effort am I proud of today? Even small wins, making progress on a challenging task, maintaining your focus for an extra hour, or practicing kindness towards someone, deserve recognition. Celebrate these moments as victories because they are. Another practical approach is setting process-based goals rather than outcome-based ones. For instance, instead of saying, "I will lose 20 pounds, reframe it as, "I will dedicate 30 minutes a day to physical activity." This shifts the focus to what you can control, the effort you put in, rather than the result, which can be influenced by factors outside your control. Over time, these process-based habits compound into meaningful progress, often exceeding what you originally envisioned. Additionally, reframing effort requires letting go of the fear of failure. When you see effort purely as a step toward success, failure can feel devastating, as though everything you've done was wasted. But failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each effort, even those that don't pan out, moves you closer to understanding what does. Embrace failure as a teacher, not a roadblock. Lastly, gratitude plays a key role in shifting your perspective. Gratitude for the opportunity to try, to grow, and to learn can transform how you see your efforts. When you start each day with the mindset that effort itself is a privilege, a chance to exercise your abilities, test your limits, and engage with life, you create a sense of fulfillment independent of external rewards. The next time you catch yourself feeling disheartened because the results aren't what you hoped for, pause. Reflect on the journey you've taken, the growth you've achieved, and the strength you've built. Remind yourself that effort is never wasted. Each step, each action, each attempt is a brick in the foundation of the person you are becoming. In the end, success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about who you are and the value you create along the way. And that, no matter the outcome, is always worth celebrating. Dopamine, often called the motivation molecule, plays a crucial role in driving us toward goals and rewarding us with a sense of achievement. But for many, its mismanagement leads to a cycle of extreme effort followed by burnout or giving up entirely. Understanding dopamine's role in motivation and learning to work with it rather than against it is essential for breaking free from this exhausting pattern. Dopamine operates on a reward system in the brain. It spikes when we anticipate a reward, not just when we achieve it. This is why starting a new project or chasing a goal can feel exhilarating in the beginning. The problem arises when we tie dopamine exclusively to big outcomes. If the reward is delayed or doesn't meet our expectations, dopamine levels plummet, leaving us feeling drained and unmotivated. This cycle is amplified in our modern world, where instant gratification is at our fingertips. Social media likes, binge-worthy content, and other quick fixes provide dopamine hits without requiring much effort. Over time, this rewires the brain to seek easy rewards, making sustained effort toward meaningful goals feel overwhelming or even pointless. The first step to addressing this issue is to recalibrate your relationship with dopamine by focusing on the process rather than the outcome. Instead of relying on a distant achievement to provide fulfillment, break your goal into smaller, manageable steps and celebrate each one. For example, if you're writing a book, don't wait until the final page is written to feel accomplished. Celebrate outlining the chapters, completing a paragraph, or even showing up to write. Each of these small wins provides a dopamine boost, keeping your motivation steady and your effort sustainable. Another key is to create a balance between effort and recovery. Dopamine isn't infinite. It needs time to replenish. If you're constantly pushing yourself without breaks, your brain's reward system becomes overstimulated, leading to a crash. This is why people often experience burnout after intense periods of work or personal projects. To avoid this, schedule deliberate periods of rest and relaxation. Taking a walk, meditating, or simply disconnecting from digital distractions can help reset your dopamine levels, allowing you to return to your goals with renewed energy. Practicing delayed gratification is another powerful way to manage dopamine. The Stoics often emphasize the importance of self-control and patience. Instead of indulging in instant rewards, train yourself to enjoy the anticipation. For instance, if you're working toward a fitness goal, resist the temptation to constantly check the scale for progress. Focus instead on how good it feels to show up for your workouts and eat nourishing foods. Over time, you'll find satisfaction in the journey itself, not just the destination. Additionally, be mindful of your environment. Certain cues, like notifications on your phone or the allure of sugary snacks, trigger dopamine spikes that pull your focus away from meaningful efforts. By managing your environment to reduce these distractions, you can channel your dopamine toward productive activities. Keep your workspace clear, set boundaries around technology use, and plan your day to prioritize tasks that align with your values. Lastly, reconnect with your why. Dopamine's role in motivation isn't just about rewards. It's also tied to purpose. Ask yourself why your goal matters to you. Visualize the deeper meaning behind your efforts, whether it's improving your health, providing for your family, or mastering a skill. This emotional connection fuels sustained dopamine release, keeping you engaged even when progress feels slow. Mismanaging dopamine can trap you in a cycle of highs and lows, but with a conscious approach, you can harness its power for consistent growth. By celebrating small wins, embracing rest, practicing patience, minimizing distractions, and reconnecting with your purpose, you can build a sustainable rhythm of motivation. Instead of burning out or giving up, you'll find yourself energized and equipped to keep moving forward, step by step, reward by reward. Isolation from positive habits can subtly erode emotional well-being, making life feel heavier and more chaotic than it needs to be. Positive habits like controlled breathing, cold exposure, or intentional stress management act as anchors, helping us navigate the challenges of life with clarity and resilience. Without them, emotions can spiral out of control, leaving us feeling overwhelmed and disconnected from our sense of balance. Consider the power of controlled breathing, for example. This simple, often overlooked practice has a profound impact on the nervous system. When stress strikes, the body enters fight or flight mode, heart racing, breath quickening, and muscles tensing. Staying in this state for prolonged periods drains energy and makes it difficult to think clearly. Controlled breathing, such as the 4-7-8 technique, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7 and exhale for 8, signals to the brain that it's safe to relax, calming the mind and body. It's not just a tool for moments of crisis. Practicing it regularly builds emotional resilience, making it easier to handle stress when it arises. Cold exposure, another transformative habit, might sound uncomfortable at first, but its benefits are undeniable. Brief exposure to cold water, whether through a cold shower, ice bath, or even a splash of cold water on the face, triggers a release of endorphins and norepinephrine, chemicals that elevate mood and increase focus. This practice also trains the mind to embrace discomfort, a key tenet of Stoic philosophy. By voluntarily stepping into an uncomfortable situation, you build the mental strength to face life's challenges with composure. Over time, this habit cultivates a sense of control and empowerment as you prove to yourself that you can endure and thrive despite temporary discomfort. Intentional stress management habits like meditation, journaling, or practicing gratitude provide a space to process emotions and regain perspective. Meditation, for instance, helps you observe your thoughts without judgment, creating distance between you and the emotional turmoil you might feel. Journaling offers a similar outlet, allowing you to untangle complex emotions by putting them into words. Gratitude, on the other hand, shifts focus from what's wrong to what's right, rewiring the brain to notice and appreciate the positives in life. When disconnected from these habits, emotional regulation becomes significantly harder. Stress feels all-consuming. Small challenges escalate into major frustrations, and feelings of helplessness take root. The longer this disconnection persists, the more entrenched these patterns become, creating a vicious cycle that's difficult to break. Reintegrating positive habits into your life doesn't require a drastic overhaul. Start small and build gradually. Begin your day with a few minutes of deep breathing, or end it with a cold shower to refresh your mind and body. If meditation feels daunting, start with just 1 minute of mindful breathing and extend the practice as it becomes more comfortable. Make journaling or gratitude a part of your nightly routine. Just jotting down 3 things you're grateful for can transform your outlook over time. Environment plays a significant role in sustaining positive habits. Create spaces in your home that encourage mindfulness and self-care. Keep a journal by your bed, Set reminders to practice controlled breathing, or position a cold water pitcher in the fridge as a gentle nudge toward cold exposure. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who share or encourage these habits. Community can amplify motivation and make the journey feel less isolating. Most importantly, approach these habits with curiosity and patience rather than as a rigid checklist. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. Each small step strengthens your connection to practices that nurture emotional balance, offering relief from the chaos and a path back to clarity. By reconnecting with positive habits, you take control of your emotional well-being. These practices ground you in the present moment, fortify your resilience, and empower you to face life's ups and downs with grace. Over time, they become not just tools for coping, but pillars of a fulfilling, balanced life. The overwhelming pressure to suppress negative thoughts often backfires, turning these emotions into persistent shadows that refuse to leave. Society has conditioned many of us to believe that thinking positive is the ultimate solution to unhappiness. But this approach often oversimplifies the complex nature of human emotions. Suppressing negative thoughts isn't the same as overcoming them. In fact, it often makes them louder and more persistent. Imagine you're trying to hold a beach ball underwater. At first, you might succeed, but the more you push against it, the more resistance you feel. Eventually, the ball erupts to the surface with more force than ever. This is exactly what happens when you suppress negative emotions. The energy spent keeping them at bay builds tension in your mind and body, leading to stress, frustration, and emotional fatigue. The key to breaking this cycle isn't to suppress negative thoughts, but to acknowledge and process them. Accepting your emotions, even the uncomfortable ones, allows you to diffuse their power over you. Stoic philosophy provides valuable insight here. Instead of running from pain or trying to mask it, the Stoics teach us to face it head-on, observing it without judgment. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. One effective way to process negative thoughts is through mindfulness. When a negative thought arises, resist the urge to immediately push it away. Instead, take a deep breath and allow yourself to observe it. Name the emotion you're feeling, whether it's anger, sadness, or fear, and consider what might have triggered it. Often, simply identifying the emotion creates a sense of distance between you and the thought, reducing its intensity. Journaling is another powerful tool for processing negative emotions. Writing down your thoughts can help you make sense of them, giving them a tangible form outside your mind. Once written, you may find that these thoughts lose the overwhelming weight they once held. Try asking yourself reflective questions like, "Why am I feeling this way?" or "What can I learn from this experience?" This practice not only helps you process emotions, but also encourages self-discovery and personal growth. Reframing negative thoughts is equally important. While you don't need to force positivity, you can look for opportunities to find meaning in challenges. For example, instead of seeing a mistake as a failure, consider it a valuable lesson that will make you stronger. The Stoics called this the art of turning obstacles into opportunities. By shifting your perspective, you can transform what initially feels like a setback into a stepping stone for growth. Another critical step is creating space for emotional release. Negative thoughts often linger because we don't give ourselves permission to feel them fully. Physical activities such as exercise, dancing, or even a brisk walk can help release pent-up emotions. Creative outlets like painting, playing music, or writing poetry, offer another way to express and release what's weighing on your mind. Finally, practice self-compassion. Negative thoughts often come with self-criticism, amplifying the emotional burden. Instead of being harsh with yourself, try treating your mind as you would a close friend who's struggling. Remind yourself that it's okay to have bad days, to feel off, or to not have all the answers. Acknowledge your humanity and give yourself grace to navigate these emotions at your own pace. Suppressing negative thoughts is like building a dam in a river. It might hold back the flow temporarily, but the pressure will eventually find a way through. By accepting and working with your emotions rather than against them, you allow the water to flow freely, creating a natural balance. Over time, this approach fosters a healthier relationship with your mind and cultivates resilience, helping you face challenges with strength and clarity. Unhealthy narratives often act as subtle saboteurs in our lives, convincing us to embrace ideas that seem harmless, even helpful, on the surface, but ultimately cause frustration and self-doubt. One common example is the notion that you can simply smile to feel better. While a positive attitude is undeniably valuable, reducing complex emotional struggles to superficial fixes like this does more harm than good. These narratives typically arise from societal expectations or well-meaning advice that oversimplifies the human experience. The problem lies in their failure to address the root causes of discomfort, unhappiness, or emotional pain. When someone struggling with genuine hardships tries to just smile or think positive without tackling the deeper issues, they often feel worse when these methods inevitably fail to provide relief. Instead of feeling supported, they may believe something is inherently wrong with them, further perpetuating their sense of inadequacy. To break free from unhealthy narratives, the first step is to question them. Ask yourself, where did this idea come from? Does it align with my personal reality? Is it helping or harming me? Often you'll find that these beliefs are inherited from cultural norms, media portrayals, or even well-meaning but misguided advice. Recognizing this is crucial for reclaiming your agency. The next step is to replace these narratives with empowering ones grounded in truth and compassion. For example, instead of telling yourself, "I should just be happy," try a more nuanced perspective like, "It's okay to feel what I'm feeling, and I can take small steps to improve my situation." This reframing acknowledges your emotions without invalidating them, creating space for genuine growth rather than forced positivity. Stoic philosophy offers a valuable framework for challenging unhealthy narratives. The Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, while accepting what lies outside our influence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Applying this wisdom means understanding that while you can't control every emotion or circumstance, you can choose how you interpret and respond to them. Another way to dismantle harmful narratives is by cultivating self-awareness through practices like journaling or mindfulness. Take time each day to reflect on the stories you tell yourself. Are they rooted in truth, or are they perpetuating unrealistic expectations? Mindfulness, in particular, helps you observe your thoughts without judgment, making it easier to recognize and challenge unhealthy patterns. Building resilience also plays a crucial role. Unhealthy narratives often take hold because they promise easy solutions to difficult problems. Resilience, on the other hand, equips you to face challenges head-on, understanding that growth and healing require effort and time. Instead of seeking quick fixes, focus on developing habits that foster long-term well-being, such as regular exercise, maintaining meaningful relationships, and setting achievable goals. One particularly empowering strategy is to seek wisdom from others who have faced similar struggles. Whether through books, conversations, or support groups, learning how others navigated their challenges can inspire new perspectives and dismantle unhelpful beliefs. Stoicism, for example, teaches us through the writings of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius that adversity is an opportunity to build character and find deeper meaning in life. Finally, embrace self-compassion. Unhealthy narratives often thrive on self-criticism, convincing you that you're failing when you don't live up to their impossible standards. Counteract this by treating yourself with kindness. Recognize that emotions are complex and multifaceted, and it's normal to experience ups and downs. Remind yourself that progress doesn't require perfection. It requires persistence and patience. Believing in harmful ideas like "just smile to feel better" may feel comforting initially, but these narratives can become mental traps. The solution lies in replacing oversimplified beliefs with deeper, more constructive truths that empower you to face life's challenges with grace and authenticity. By questioning these narratives, embracing resilience, and showing yourself compassion, you can break free from their grip and create a healthier, more balanced approach to emotional well-being. Feeling overwhelmed or unfulfilled often has roots deeper than just external circumstances or temporary emotions. At the core, an imbalance in your brain's neurochemical systems, like dopamine, serotonin, and others, can significantly impact your motivation, happiness, and overall sense of well-being. When these chemicals are out of sync, you might experience a mix of restlessness, dissatisfaction, and even burnout, regardless of how much you accomplish or how good your life appears on the surface. Dopamine, often referred to as the reward chemical, plays a vital role in motivation and the pursuit of goals. It drives the excitement of anticipation, the satisfaction of achievement, and the desire to keep moving forward. However, in today's fast-paced world of instant gratification, dopamine systems can become overstimulated. Social media likes, binge-worthy shows, online shopping, and even excessive caffeine consumption can create frequent but shallow dopamine hits. This leads to a cycle where your brain craves more and more stimulation, making long-term goals feel dull and effortful by comparison. Over time, the pursuit of meaningful achievements loses its appeal because they can't compete with the immediate rewards of fleeting distractions. On the other hand, serotonin, the contentment chemical, helps you feel grounded, calm, and satisfied. It fosters a sense of well-being and stability, often tied to gratitude, connection, and inner peace. But when dopamine dominates, serotonin can take a back seat. This is why you may find yourself achieving milestone after milestone, but still feeling restless or unfulfilled. Without enough serotonin, life can start to feel like an endless chase for the next high, leaving you disconnected from the simple joys of the present moment. To restore balance to these neurochemical systems, the first step is awareness. Recognize how your habits and lifestyle may be contributing to the imbalance. Are you constantly chasing the next dopamine rush, be it through your phone, unhealthy snacks, or impulsive decisions? Or have you neglected activities that naturally boost serotonin, like spending time outdoors, practicing gratitude, or fostering meaningful relationships? Awareness of these patterns allows you to begin making intentional changes. One powerful way to reset your dopamine system is by practicing dopamine fasting. This doesn't mean cutting yourself off from all sources of joy, but rather setting boundaries around overstimulating activities. Limit time on social media, take breaks from compulsive multitasking, and replace mindless scrolling or gaming with activities that encourage deeper engagement, like reading a book, exercising, or pursuing a creative hobby. By reducing your dependence on quick dopamine hits, you'll retrain your brain to find excitement and motivation in more meaningful, long-term pursuits. At the same time, prioritize serotonin-boosting practices. Spending time in nature is one of the simplest and most effective ways to increase serotonin. A walk in the park, exposure to sunlight, or even gardening can have a profound impact on your mood. Practicing mindfulness or meditation can also help, as these activities cultivate a sense of presence and contentment. Gratitude journaling is another powerful tool. By focusing on what you're thankful for, you encourage your brain to release serotonin, fostering a greater sense of peace and fulfillment. Regular exercise is a key player in balancing these neurochemicals. Physical activity not only releases endorphins, another mood-boosting chemical, but also helps regulate both dopamine and serotonin levels. Whether it's a high-intensity workout, yoga session, or even a leisurely bike ride, movement provides a natural and sustainable way to support mental health. Nutrition also plays an essential role. A diet rich in whole foods, especially those containing tryptophan, a precursor to serotonin, and tyrosine, a precursor to dopamine, can help your brain produce these chemicals in healthy amounts. Foods like eggs, salmon, nuts, seeds, and leafy greens are excellent choices to support a balanced neurochemical system. Finally, adopt a Stoic mindset to complement these changes. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of balance, moderation, and focusing on what you can control. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." By embracing this perspective, you can shift your focus from external rewards and fleeting highs to internal contentment and the steady pursuit of personal growth. By addressing the imbalance in your neurochemicals, you can escape the cycle of overwhelm and dissatisfaction. It's not about achieving a constant state of happiness, no one does, but about cultivating habits and mindsets that bring your brain back into harmony. In doing so, you'll find that life feels less like a frantic chase and more like a journey worth savoring, one meaningful step at a time. Unrealistic self-talk can be a silent saboteur of confidence and well-being. Positive affirmations like, "I am perfect," "I am unstoppable," or "I can achieve anything I set my mind to," may sound empowering on the surface. But when they don't align with your current reality or beliefs, they can create a deeper sense of doubt and frustration. Instead of uplifting you, these affirmations may feel hollow, leading you to lose trust in yourself and question whether you're capable of growth. The problem lies in the gap between where you are and where the affirmation insists you should be. If you're struggling with self-doubt, telling yourself, "I am confident and fearless," can feel more like a lie than a motivator. Your mind is quick to spot the disconnect, and rather than feeling inspired, you might feel like a failure for not living up to the ideal you're trying to project. Over time, this cognitive dissonance can erode your self-esteem and make it even harder to take meaningful steps forward. The solution isn't to abandon self-talk entirely, but to shift from unrealistic affirmations to grounded, constructive ones. Instead of declaring, "I am successful," try reframing it as, "I am learning what success means to me and taking steps to achieve it." This subtle shift turns an empty statement into an actionable belief. It acknowledges where you are, emphasizes growth, and aligns with your capacity for progress. Another approach is to replace broad affirmations with specific ones. For example, instead of saying, "I am confident," focus on a specific behavior. "I can speak clearly and thoughtfully during meetings." This kind of affirmation targets an area where you can take measurable action, making it more believable and empowering. Self-compassion is also a powerful antidote to unrealistic self-talk. When you're hard on yourself for not meeting an unattainable standard, remind yourself that imperfection is part of being human. Rather than forcing positivity, embrace kindness toward yourself. Statements like, "I am doing my best, and that's enough for today," create space for growth without pressure. Stoic philosophy offers another way to approach self-talk. The Stoics believed in accepting reality as it is while focusing on what you can control. Instead of trying to convince yourself of an ideal, practice affirming your resilience and ability to handle challenges. For instance, instead of saying, "I will never fail," you could say, "I have the strength to face failure and learn from it." This kind of grounded self-talk builds inner confidence rooted in truth rather than illusion. Another strategy is to complement affirmations with action. Telling yourself, "I can grow stronger every day," carries much more weight when you back it up with small, consistent steps toward your goal. Action validates your self-talk and creates a feedback loop where each accomplishment reinforces your belief in yourself. Journaling can also be an effective way to align your thoughts and beliefs. Start by writing down the affirmations you use and asking yourself how they make you feel. Do they inspire or frustrate you? If the latter, revise them into statements that reflect your current reality and aspirations. Use your journal to track progress and reflect on areas where you've grown. This practice helps you develop self-trust because you're building evidence of your capabilities over time. Lastly, surround yourself with people who model healthy self-talk and affirm your value. Positive influences can help shift your perspective and encourage you to adopt more realistic and supportive ways of thinking. Their grounded encouragement can remind you that growth is a journey, not a destination. Authentic self-talk isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about cultivating a mindset that supports your growth, even in the face of challenges. By grounding your affirmations in reality, focusing on progress rather than perfection, and taking consistent action, you can rebuild self-trust and confidence. Over time, this approach helps you align your inner dialogue with your true potential, making it a source of strength rather than self-doubt. Life rarely unfolds in a straight line. Progress, whether in personal growth, relationships, or career aspirations, often follows a winding, unpredictable path. Yet, many of us hold tightly to the expectation that improvement should be steady and consistent, like climbing a staircase with each step bringing us closer to our goals. When setbacks or plateaus arise, this expectation can lead to frustration, disappointment, and even a sense of failure. The challenge lies in our perception of progress. Society often glorifies success stories, highlighting the achievements without showing the missteps and struggles that preceded them. This creates a distorted view, making it easy to believe that setbacks are abnormal or that they signify inadequacy. The truth, however, is that non-linear progress is not only normal, but essential to growth. Every stumble, detour, or pause is an opportunity to recalibrate, learn, and build resilience. Take the example of someone trying to lose weight or build strength. At first, the progress might seem rapid. Numbers on the scale drop, or the weights they lift increase, but inevitably they hit a plateau. The scale refuses to budge, or the weights feel just as heavy as they did a month ago. In moments like these, frustration sets in. It's tempting to give up, thinking, if I'm not improving, why bother? However, what feels like stagnation is often the body adapting, building a foundation for the next breakthrough. This is true in all areas of life. Progress isn't always visible, but it is happening beneath the surface. To handle non-linear progress, the first step is shifting your mindset. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, reframe them as part of the process. Consider them stepping stones rather than obstacles. Stoic philosophy teaches us that obstacles aren't barriers to our path. They are the path. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This perspective encourages us to see challenges as opportunities for growth, not reasons to abandon our goals. Another effective approach is to break down larger goals into smaller, manageable milestones. This way, even when progress on the big picture feels elusive, you can celebrate smaller wins along the way. For example, if you're learning a new skill, don't just focus on mastering it entirely. Acknowledge the micro improvements, completing a challenging exercise, grasping a new concept, or even showing up consistently. These small victories keep you motivated and remind you that progress is being made, even if it doesn't feel monumental. Journaling can also help you track progress over time. It's easy to forget how far you've come when you're focused on the present frustration. By reflecting on past entries, you can see the subtle yet significant growth that has occurred. Writing down lessons learned from setbacks can turn moments of frustration into valuable insights. Over time, this practice builds a more balanced view of progress. Patience is another critical skill to cultivate. Non-linear progress requires the ability to withstand uncertainty and keep going, even when results aren't immediate. This doesn't mean ignoring setbacks, but rather learning to sit with them without letting them derail your efforts. When frustration arises, take a moment to breathe, reflect on why you started, and remind yourself that progress isn't always about the destination. It's about who you become along the way. Developing a growth mindset, as psychologist Carol Dweck describes, is essential. A growth mindset recognizes that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. This perspective shifts the focus from immediate outcomes to the process itself. For example, instead of thinking, "I failed this test, I'm not smart enough," you might think, "This test was tough, but now I know where I need to improve." It's also helpful to cultivate gratitude for the journey, not just the destination. When progress slows or reverses, pause to acknowledge the effort you've put in and the lessons you've gained. Gratitude helps shift the focus from what's lacking to what's present, creating a more balanced and hopeful outlook. Lastly, surround yourself with supportive people who understand the nature of growth. Whether it's a mentor, friend, or community, having others to encourage you, share their own struggles, and celebrate your progress can make the journey feel less daunting. Their insights can provide perspective and remind you that non-linear progress is a shared human experience. In life, the most meaningful growth often comes from navigating the unexpected twists and turns, not from a perfectly smooth path. By embracing setbacks, reframing frustrations, and focusing on the process rather than the outcome, you can transform moments of difficulty into stepping stones toward lasting growth and fulfillment. When life throws challenges your way, it's natural to react instinctively, to respond out of habit, emotion, or a desire to solve the problem as quickly as possible. But in the rush to fix things or defend yourself, it's easy to slip into reflexive behavior, where your actions are automatic and driven by impulse rather than thoughtful, deliberate choices. These instinctive reactions often stem from deep-rooted emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety, and while they might offer short-term relief or resolution, they rarely contribute to long-term peace or purpose. Take, for instance, a person who faces criticism at work. Their immediate reaction might be defensive, lashing out or shutting down. Maybe they counterattack, justifying their actions or blaming someone else. In the moment, this reaction feels right, but it doesn't serve them well in the long term. It erodes relationships, fosters resentment, and leaves them feeling unsatisfied, even if they won the argument. This automatic reflexive behavior might stem from past experiences where defending oneself felt like the only way to stay safe. But it leads to cycles of emotional exhaustion and a sense of powerlessness. The problem with reflexive behavior is that it strips you of control. It prevents you from stepping back and thinking clearly before taking action. When you react impulsively, you allow the situation to control you. Your feelings dominate your actions rather than being guided by intention and clarity. This pattern often leaves you feeling as though you're trapped in a loop, responding to life rather than directing it. One of the first steps in overcoming reflexive behavior is self-awareness. Recognizing when you're reacting instead of acting deliberately is crucial. This requires slowing down and becoming mindful of your emotional triggers. Instead of immediately reacting to a stressful situation, practice pausing. Give yourself a moment to breathe and assess. Ask yourself, is this the response I truly want to make, or am I simply reacting out of habit or emotion? This moment of pause allows you to replace reflexive behavior with intentional action. You begin to act from a place of clarity and purpose. Instead of reacting to criticism with defensiveness, you might choose to listen calmly, absorb the feedback, and respond thoughtfully. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or suppressing your emotions, but it does mean choosing to act in a way that aligns with your values and goals, rather than being ruled by reactive impulses. Another important tool is developing a practice of deliberate action through mindfulness or reflection. Take a few minutes each day to center yourself, reflect on your goals, and decide how you want to respond to different situations. This will help you develop a habit of thinking before reacting. In moments of stress, you'll be able to draw upon these practices, using them to stay grounded and make intentional decisions. Stoic philosophy offers a valuable framework here. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over how we respond to them. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, wrote about the importance of maintaining a calm and rational mind, no matter the external chaos. He understood that while reflexive behavior might be the natural response to adversity, it is not the most beneficial. Stoicism encourages us to practice discipline in our thoughts and reactions, choosing actions that align with our virtues and long-term purpose rather than reacting impulsively. Additionally, setting clear intentions for your actions can help you steer away from reflexive responses. When you face a situation, ask yourself what outcome you truly want and what action will best serve your greater purpose. This clarity acts as a compass, guiding you toward thoughtful responses rather than automatic ones. Finally, embrace patience. Change takes time, and breaking free from the cycle of reflexive behavior isn't something that happens overnight. Be patient with yourself as you learn to create space between your emotional triggers and your actions. Every time you intentionally choose to pause and reflect before responding, you strengthen your ability to act deliberately and with purpose. In the end, deliberate action leads to greater control over your life. Instead of feeling swept away by your emotions, you begin to take charge, acting in alignment with your values and goals. This sense of control fosters a deeper sense of purpose, and over time, you'll find that you're not just reacting to life, you're living it intentionally. In today's world, digital distractions are everywhere. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, our phones, tablets, and computers are vying for our attention. Notifications ping, feeds refresh endlessly, and the allure of instant gratification keeps us hooked. While these devices are powerful tools, their overuse creates anxiety, diminishes focus, and pulls us away from the meaningful activities that truly enrich our lives. Imagine a person scrolling through social media in the morning, planning only to check for a few minutes. 30 minutes later, they're still mindlessly flicking through posts, comparing their life to curated images and feeling an inexplicable sense of inadequacy. Instead of starting the day with intention and clarity, they've already let their mental energy scatter across platforms designed to capture attention. By the end of the day, after countless hours of checking emails, notifications, and updates, they feel drained, distracted, and unfulfilled. This is the silent cost of digital distractions, a fractured mind and a life spent reacting to technology rather than living intentionally. The trouble with digital distractions lies not only in the time they consume, but in the mental toll they take. Social media, for instance, is built on algorithms that reward instant gratification and constant engagement. Every like, comment, or notification triggers a small dopamine release, pulling you deeper into the cycle. Over time, this overstimulation dulls your ability to focus and makes it harder to find joy in slower, more meaningful experiences. Simultaneously, the curated lives you see online fuel feelings of inadequacy, making you question your own achievements, appearance, and happiness. Moreover, the constant interruptions from devices fragment your attention. Instead of focusing deeply on a task or engaging fully with loved ones, your mind is always half aware of the next buzz or notification. This divided attention not only affects productivity, but also weakens the quality of your relationships and your ability to be present in the moment. The first step to overcoming digital distractions is awareness. Pay attention to how much time you spend on your devices and how it makes you feel. Are you using your phone as a tool for connection and learning? Or are you passively consuming content that leaves you feeling drained or anxious? Recognizing the impact of your digital habits is essential for change. Once aware, begin to set boundaries around your device usage. Start with small, manageable changes. For example, avoid checking your phone first thing in the morning. Instead, use that time to center yourself. Meditate, journal, or simply enjoy a quiet moment. Similarly, create tech-free zones in your day, like during meals or an hour before bedtime. These boundaries help you reclaim your focus and create space for more fulfilling activities. Another powerful strategy is to redesign your digital environment. Turn off unnecessary notifications, organize your home screen to show only the apps you need, and use tools like app blockers to limit time spent on distracting platforms. Even rearranging your apps so that social media is less accessible can reduce the temptation to mindlessly scroll. Equally important is replacing digital distractions with meaningful activities. Identify what you want more of in your life, whether it's hobbies, relationships, or personal growth, and prioritize those things. Instead of turning to your phone during moments of boredom, reach for a book, go for a walk, or spend time in conversation with someone you care about. Over time, these intentional choices will not only reduce your reliance on devices, but also enrich your life. Mindfulness can also help. Each time you feel the urge to check your phone, pause and ask yourself why. Are you bored, anxious, or avoiding a task? This moment of reflection can help you break the habit of reaching for your device out of reflex and guide you toward more intentional behavior. Stoic philosophy offers timeless wisdom here. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Technology is an outside event. It only has power over you if you let it. By taking control of your relationship with technology, you reclaim your mental space, energy, and focus. Rebuilding your focus in a world designed to fragment it is no easy task, but it's one of the most important steps you can take toward a more meaningful and intentional life. Start small, commit to being present, and remember that every moment you reclaim from digital distractions is a step toward living fully. In the whirlwind of modern life, it's easy to lose sight of what we already have. The constant push for more success, more possessions, more recognition, often drowns out the quiet, stabilizing power of gratitude. When we don't take time to appreciate the good in our lives, we disconnect from a vital source of emotional balance. Gratitude is not just a feel-good concept. It has a profound effect on our mental well-being, influencing the release of serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for feelings of contentment and happiness. When gratitude is absent, life can feel like a constant chase for the next milestone or reward. Imagine someone who works tirelessly, achieves their goals, and yet feels a lingering emptiness. They look at what they've gained but quickly dismiss it as insufficient compared to someone else's achievements. Instead of feeling satisfied, they're trapped in a cycle of comparison and dissatisfaction. This disconnect from gratitude creates a mental state of scarcity, where nothing feels like enough, and the joy of living is overshadowed by a sense of inadequacy. The problem with failing to practice gratitude is that it leaves a vacuum in the mind, easily filled by negative thoughts, anxiety, and discontent. Without gratitude, even the simplest pleasures, a meal with loved ones, a sunny day, or personal health, can go unnoticed, taken for granted in the pursuit of what's next. This mindset not only robs us of joy, but also creates a distorted perception of life, making challenges seem insurmountable and progress feel meaningless. Reconnecting with gratitude is one of the simplest yet most transformative ways to reclaim a sense of contentment and grounding. Start small. Gratitude doesn't require grand gestures or massive life changes. It begins with noticing the little things, the warmth of your morning coffee, the support of a friend, or the comfort of your home. These small moments, when acknowledged, become the building blocks of a grateful mindset. One effective practice is to keep a daily gratitude journal. Each evening, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for that day. They don't have to be monumental. Even something as simple as a delicious lunch or a kind word from a stranger is enough. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to notice the positives in your life more readily. Science backs this up. Regular gratitude journaling has been shown to increase serotonin levels, fostering feelings of calm and satisfaction. Another way to cultivate gratitude is to actively express it. Tell someone why you appreciate them, whether it's a family member, friend, or colleague. Verbalizing gratitude not only strengthens relationships, but also reinforces your own sense of appreciation. Gratitude, like any other practice, grows stronger with repetition. Mindfulness also plays a key role in fostering gratitude. When you pause to be present in the moment, you're more likely to notice the things that bring you joy. Take time each day to reflect on what's good in your life, even if you're going through a difficult period. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship, but it provides perspective, reminding you that even in struggle, there are things worth cherishing. Stoicism offers profound insights on gratitude as well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." The Stoics understood that gratitude isn't just about what we have, but about recognizing the sheer gift of existence. This shift in perspective, seeing life itself as something extraordinary, can radically transform how you navigate challenges and setbacks. Gratitude also encourages a focus on sufficiency rather than scarcity. Instead of fixating on what's missing, gratitude allows you to see how much you already have. This doesn't mean you should stop striving for growth or improvement. Rather, it means grounding your ambition in a foundation of appreciation. When you feel rooted in gratitude, the pursuit of your goals becomes less about filling a void and more about building on an already abundant life. Practicing gratitude isn't a quick fix. It's a habit to nurture over time, but its impact is undeniable. When you make space for gratitude, you invite serenity, joy, and resilience into your life. It helps you navigate life's highs and lows with a sense of balance, reminding you that even in the hardest moments, there is something to be grateful for. Gratitude isn't just an act. It's a way of seeing the world, and it has the power to bring you back to yourself. In a culture that glorifies hustle and productivity, rest is often treated as a luxury rather than a necessity. The constant push to do more, achieve more, and be more can leave us running on empty, both physically and emotionally. Without adequate rest and recovery, we risk more than just exhaustion. We risk losing the mental clarity and emotional stability that enable us to lead fulfilling lives. When rest is neglected, the effects can be insidious. Sleep deprivation, for example, doesn't just leave you feeling tired. It disrupts your brain's ability to process emotions, regulate stress, and consolidate memories. You may find yourself more irritable, less patient, and unable to focus on even simple tasks. Over time, this lack of recovery compounds, creating a state of chronic fatigue that erodes your overall well-being. The same is true for mental rest. When the mind is constantly bombarded with information, emails, social media notifications, and endless to-do lists, it has no time to reset. The result is a feeling of being perpetually on, which can lead to burnout, anxiety, and even physical health issues. The irony is that the very effort to stay productive often backfires, making you less effective and more prone to mistakes. One of the most overlooked aspects of recovery is mindfulness. In our rush to get through the day, we rarely take time to pause and simply exist in the moment. This constant forward momentum not only drains us, but also disconnects us from the present, leaving us feeling unfulfilled no matter how much we accomplish. To overcome this, it's essential to reframe the way we think about rest. Rest isn't a sign of weakness or laziness. It's a fundamental part of maintaining a healthy and productive life. Just as a car needs fuel and maintenance to run efficiently, our minds and bodies need rest to perform at their best. The first step is prioritizing sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours each night, as recommended by sleep experts. This might mean establishing a consistent bedtime routine, dim the lights, put away screens an hour before bed, and create a calming environment in your bedroom. If you struggle with sleep, practices like deep breathing or guided meditation can help signal to your body that it's time to unwind. Equally important is scheduling breaks throughout your day. Even short periods of rest, such as stepping away from your desk for 5 minutes to stretch or taking a brief walk outside, can help reset your focus and energy. These moments of recovery allow your brain to process information more effectively, reducing feelings of overwhelm. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for recovery. Take time each day to practice being fully present, whether it's through meditation, yoga, or simply sitting quietly and observing your thoughts without judgment. This practice not only calms the mind, but also enhances your ability to respond to challenges with clarity and composure. Physical recovery should also be part of your routine. Regular exercise is essential for overall health, but it's equally important to balance activity with rest. Overtraining can be just as harmful as not moving at all, so listen to your body and incorporate rest days into your fitness plan. Activities like gentle stretching, restorative yoga, or even an afternoon nap can help your body recover and recharge. Finally, don't underestimate the value of doing nothing. In a world that demands constant action, giving yourself permission to simply relax can feel revolutionary. Whether it's spending a lazy Sunday morning, reading a book, or enjoying a quiet cup of tea in your backyard, these moments of stillness can be profoundly restorative. The Stoics understood the importance of balance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Take a rest. A field that has rested gives a bountiful crop." This wisdom reminds us that rest isn't a break from life. It's a vital part of it. By embracing rest and recovery as non-negotiable priorities, you not only enhance your physical and mental health, but also create the space to fully engage with the world around you. Rest is not the enemy of success. It is its foundation. Human beings are inherently social creatures. We're wired to connect, to share, and to form bonds with others. Yet, in today's increasingly disconnected world, many people find themselves isolated, whether physically, emotionally, or both. This isolation creates a void, leaving individuals feeling empty and unfulfilled, regardless of their external achievements. When our social and emotional needs go unmet, the effects can ripple through every aspect of our lives, amplifying feelings of loneliness and dissatisfaction. The causes of unfulfilled social and emotional needs vary. Sometimes it stems from a lack of meaningful relationships. Perhaps you've drifted apart from old friends or have struggled to form new connections. Other times, it's not about the quantity of relationships, but their quality. You might be surrounded by people, yet feel completely alone because those relationships lack depth or authenticity. In the digital age, this problem has only worsened. Social media creates the illusion of connection while often fostering comparison and superficial interactions, leaving many people more isolated than ever. The impact of unfulfilled social needs goes beyond loneliness. Studies have shown that social isolation can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even physical health issues like high blood pressure and weakened immunity. Emotionally, it can make it difficult to navigate life's challenges, as there's no trusted circle to provide support or encouragement. Over time, the lack of genuine connection can erode your sense of self-worth, as you may begin to internalize the idea that you're unworthy of love or companionship. To address this, the first step is recognizing the importance of connection and prioritizing it in your life. Building meaningful relationships takes effort and intentionality, but the rewards are profound. Start by reaching out to people who matter to you. Whether it's an old friend you've lost touch with or a family member you haven't spoken to in a while, a simple message or phone call can begin to rebuild bridges. If you feel you don't have a support network, it's never too late to create one. Consider joining a group or community that aligns with your interests or values. Whether it's a book club, a fitness class, or a volunteer organization, these settings provide opportunities to meet like-minded people who share your passions. Authentic connections often develop naturally when you engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. It's also crucial to practice vulnerability. Opening up about your thoughts and feelings can deepen relationships and foster trust. This doesn't mean baring your soul to everyone you meet, but rather allowing yourself to be seen and understood by those who matter. Authenticity is the cornerstone of meaningful connections, and it often requires stepping out of your comfort zone to share your true self. In addition to fostering relationships with others, don't neglect the relationship you have with yourself. Solitude isn't the same as isolation, and learning to enjoy your own company can be incredibly empowering. Spend time reflecting on your values, interests, and goals. Journaling, meditating, or simply taking a walk alone can help you reconnect with your inner self and build a foundation of self-love and self-acceptance. Gratitude is another powerful tool for combating feelings of loneliness. Take time each day to reflect on the people and experiences you're grateful for. This practice shifts your focus from what's lacking to what you already have, helping you appreciate the connections that do exist in your life, no matter how small they may seem. The Stoics believed in the value of community and the interconnectedness of humanity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth." This reminder underscores the idea that connection isn't just a luxury. It's a fundamental part of being human. If you're feeling isolated, remember the change starts with small steps. Reach out, open up, and seek out opportunities to connect. At the same time, nurture your inner world so you can approach relationships with authenticity and strength. In doing so, you'll not only meet your social and emotional needs, but also find a sense of belonging that enriches your life in ways you never thought possible. Fear of challenges is a silent thief that robs people of their potential. At its core, this fear stems from an aversion to discomfort, a natural human instinct to avoid pain or struggle. However, this instinct can backfire when it leads to avoiding challenges altogether. Over time, this avoidance creates a cycle of stagnation and inadequacy, where each missed opportunity to grow deepens the belief that you're incapable of overcoming life's obstacles. Think about it. Every significant achievement, no matter how small or large, begins with a challenge. Whether it's learning a new skill, taking on a daunting project, or navigating a difficult conversation, growth is always on the other side of discomfort. Yet many people hesitate, fearing failure, judgment, or simply the effort required. This hesitation isn't laziness, it's self-protection. But in protecting themselves from the possibility of failure, they also shield themselves from the possibility of success. The consequences of avoiding challenges are profound. When you consistently shy away from difficulty, you miss out on the chance to build resilience and confidence. Over time, your comfort zone shrinks, and even minor obstacles begin to feel insurmountable. You might start to doubt your abilities, question your worth, and feel trapped in a cycle of mediocrity. This stagnation can seep into every area of life: career, relationships, personal development, leaving you with a nagging sense of unfulfilled potential. The solution lies in reframing how you view challenges. Instead of seeing them as threats, begin to see them as opportunities for growth. A good starting point is to adjust your mindset. Instead of fearing failure, understand that failure is an inevitable part of success. Every successful person has faced setbacks. What sets them apart is their ability to learn and adapt. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His perspective is a powerful reminder that failure isn't the end. It's a step on the journey. Taking action, even in small ways, is crucial. Start by confronting minor challenges that push you slightly outside your comfort zone. For example, if you're afraid of public speaking, begin by sharing your thoughts in a small meeting. If you've been avoiding a project because it feels overwhelming, break it into manageable steps and focus on completing just the first one. Each small victory builds momentum and reminds you that you're capable of more than you realize. Embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. This doesn't mean seeking out unnecessary pain, but recognizing that some level of struggle is a natural and necessary part of improvement. Think of it like building muscle. The process involves breaking down fibers through effort and resistance so they can grow back stronger. Similarly, facing challenges strengthens your mental and emotional muscles, preparing you for even greater feats. Another strategy is to cultivate curiosity. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, focus on what you might learn. When you approach challenges with a sense of curiosity, they become less intimidating and more like puzzles waiting to be solved. Ask yourself, what could this experience teach me? Or, how could I grow from this? The teachings of Stoicism provide timeless wisdom for facing challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This principle reminds us that obstacles are not barriers, but pathways to growth. Each challenge presents an opportunity to develop strength, wisdom, and resilience. Finally, surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you. Being in the company of those who embrace growth can motivate you to do the same. Their examples can serve as powerful reminders that challenges are not to be feared, but embraced. Overcoming the fear of challenges requires practice and patience. It's about taking one small step at a time, learning to sit with discomfort, and reframing your mindset to see obstacles as opportunities. As you do this, you'll begin to notice a profound shift, not just in how you approach challenges, but in how you view yourself. You'll move from a place of hesitation to a place of empowerment, realizing that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating. The relentless pursuit of goals, while often celebrated, can sometimes lead to a dangerous imbalance in the brain's reward systems, particularly between dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for motivation and anticipation, drives us to chase success, achieve milestones, and conquer challenges. It's what keeps us striving for more. However, when dopamine dominates without the balancing influence of serotonin, the neurotransmitter associated with contentment, happiness, and well-being, it creates a cycle of relentless pursuit and perpetual dissatisfaction. This imbalance can leave you feeling unfulfilled, even when you achieve your goals. The rush of accomplishment from a dopamine surge is fleeting, and without serotonin to provide a sense of contentment, the victory quickly feels hollow. You find yourself chasing the next milestone, believing that this time you'll feel complete. But the cycle repeats, leading to burnout, frustration, and a creeping sense of emptiness. This pattern is all too common in today's fast-paced, achievement-driven culture. Society often glorifies the grind, long hours, bigger goals, and constant productivity, while neglecting the need for rest, reflection, and gratitude. Over time, this approach can rob you of the joy in your accomplishments, as every success feels overshadowed by the pressure to aim higher. The key to breaking free from this cycle lies in restoring balance. Success and contentment are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they're interdependent. To achieve this equilibrium, you must learn to integrate moments of contentment and gratitude into your journey, rather than reserving them for the end. Start by redefining success. Instead of viewing it as a destination, see it as a series of steps and experiences. Celebrate small wins along the way. For example, if you're working toward a promotion, don't just focus on the title or salary increase. Acknowledge the skills you're developing, the relationships you're building, and the resilience you're cultivating. These moments of recognition can boost serotonin, helping you feel grounded and fulfilled even as you continue striving. Practicing mindfulness is another powerful way to restore balance. Take time each day to pause, breathe, and reflect on what you already have. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? This practice not only increases serotonin levels, but also shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. It reminds you that while ambition is important, so is appreciating the here and now. Incorporate rest and self-care into your routine. It's easy to equate rest with laziness in a society that glorifies hustle. But rest is essential for recharging both your body and mind. Schedule time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation, whether it's reading, spending time in nature, or connecting with loved ones. These moments allow your brain to reset, fostering a sense of balance and preventing burnout. It's also important to set meaningful goals. When your pursuits are aligned with your values and passions, the journey itself becomes more fulfilling. Ask yourself, why is this goal important to me? If the answer feels superficial, like achieving status or impressing others, it might be worth re-evaluating your priorities. Goals that resonate with your true self are more likely to bring lasting satisfaction. Stoic philosophy offers valuable insight here. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition, but rather understanding that external achievements alone won't bring lasting happiness. True fulfillment comes from cultivating inner peace and aligning your actions with your core values. Finally, adopt the practice of gratitude. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be grand. Simple moments like enjoying a warm cup of coffee or receiving a kind word from a colleague are just as powerful. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, nurturing a sense of contentment that complements your drive for success. Balancing dopamine and serotonin requires intentional effort, but it's a practice that transforms not only how you pursue your goals, but also how you experience life. By integrating moments of gratitude, rest, and reflection into your journey, you can find joy in the process while still striving for greatness. Remember, life isn't just about reaching the summit. It's about savoring the climb. In a world that celebrates constant hustle, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your worth solely by how productive you are. The pressure to achieve, perform, and excel often leaves little room for fun or enjoyment. Over time, this overemphasis on productivity creates an exhausting cycle where life begins to feel like an endless to-do list, draining you emotionally and mentally. Without moments of play, spontaneity, or joy, you may find yourself weighed down by the sheer burden of existence, wondering why even your accomplishments feel hollow. When life becomes all work and no play, something vital is lost: your ability to recharge and reconnect with the simple pleasures that make life meaningful. Productivity, while important, is not an end in itself. It's a means to achieve balance, fulfillment, and joy. Without injecting moments of lightness into your day, the grind will eventually erode your motivation, creativity, and sense of well-being. The problem with constant productivity is that it doesn't leave space for the human spirit to breathe. Imagine a violin string stretched too tightly. It might play for a while, but eventually it will snap. Similarly, when life is all deadlines, targets, and achievements, it can feel as though you're perpetually bracing for the next demand. This leaves little room for the kind of carefree, unstructured moments that foster creativity, strengthen relationships, and replenish your energy. The solution to this isn't about giving up on productivity. It's about finding balance. Play and enjoyment are not distractions from your goals. They're essential ingredients for achieving them sustainably. When you allow yourself to step away from the grind, you give your mind a chance to reset, your emotions a chance to heal, and your perspective a chance to widen. Start by redefining your relationship with leisure. Many people view downtime as wasted time, but it's actually a powerful tool for personal growth and rejuvenation. Studies show that engaging in enjoyable activities, even for a short while, boosts mood, reduces stress, and improves overall productivity in the long run. Taking breaks to play isn't indulgent, it's smart. To incorporate more play into your life, think about what used to bring you joy as a child. Was it drawing, playing games, exploring nature, or losing yourself in a good book? These activities aren't just for kids. They're timeless ways to reconnect with your sense of wonder and curiosity. Try to carve out even 15 to 30 minutes a day for something that brings you pure enjoyment, without any agenda or goal attached. Spending time with friends or family in a relaxed setting is another way to infuse fun into your routine. Instead of always focusing on structured plans, allow for spontaneity. Go for a walk, play a board game, or share stories and laughter over a meal. These moments of connection not only lighten your mood, but also remind you that life is meant to be lived, not just worked through. Physical play is especially powerful. Activities like dancing, hiking, or even tossing a ball around can release endorphins, improve mental clarity, and rekindle your sense of vitality. It doesn't have to be strenuous. Anything that gets your body moving and makes you smile will do. Mindfulness can also help you savor joyful moments when they happen. Often, we rush through pleasurable experiences, barely noticing them before diving back into our responsibilities. By practicing mindfulness, you can fully immerse yourself in moments of fun, soaking up the joy and letting it energize you for what's next. The Stoics understood the importance of balance, even amidst their disciplined philosophies. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Take leisure in good company and let the soul rest." He recognized that life isn't just about effort, but also about the moments that remind us why we strive in the first place. So, if your life has started to feel burdensome, ask yourself, when was the last time I laughed? When did I last feel free, playful, or simply happy? If the answer doesn't come easily, it's time to make a change. Reintroduce joy into your life. not as an afterthought, but as a deliberate priority. After all, the most productive life is one that's balanced, meaningful, and alive with moments of genuine fun. When we avoid challenges and shy away from discomfort, we often miss out on the incredible growth opportunities life has to offer. It's tempting to seek the path of least resistance, where life feels safe, predictable, and free from struggle. But this avoidance can leave us feeling stuck, helpless, and disconnected from our potential. Personal growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from pushing through difficulties, learning from failures, and stepping into the unknown with courage. One of the reasons many people fail to recognize their personal growth potential is because discomfort is often framed as a negative experience. Society encourages us to strive for ease, convenience, and instant gratification. But the truth is that these comforts rarely lead to long-term fulfillment. Growth, on the other hand, demands effort. It requires stepping outside of what feels familiar and embracing the challenges that life inevitably presents. Consider a seed buried in the soil. To grow into a strong tree, it must break through the darkness, push against the weight of the earth, and reach for the light. This process is not easy, but it's essential for transformation. Similarly, your personal growth often lies just beyond your current struggles. Challenges are not obstacles meant to defeat you. They are stepping stones to becoming a stronger, wiser version of yourself. One way to overcome the helplessness that comes from avoiding growth is to shift your mindset about discomfort. Instead of viewing challenges as threats, see them as invitations to expand. When you encounter a difficult situation, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me better? Reframing challenges in this way helps you approach them with curiosity rather than fear. Taking small, deliberate steps toward discomfort can also build your resilience and confidence. You don't have to tackle the biggest challenge first. Start with something manageable. For instance, if you've been avoiding public speaking because it makes you nervous, begin by sharing your thoughts in small group settings. Gradually, as you face these smaller challenges, your confidence will grow, and larger obstacles will feel less intimidating. Self-reflection is another powerful tool for recognizing your potential. Take time to journal or meditate on past experiences where you overcame adversity. What did you learn from those moments? How did they shape you into the person you are today? Often, reflecting on your growth can remind you of your strength and encourage you to keep pushing forward. The Stoics had profound wisdom about the necessity of discomfort for growth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This teaching encourages us to view obstacles as opportunities to refine our character. Every challenge you face has the potential to teach you patience, resilience, creativity, or perseverance. By embracing this mindset, you can transform difficulties into catalysts for personal evolution. It's also important to cultivate a supportive environment that encourages growth. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and celebrate your progress. Engage in meaningful conversations with those who have overcome struggles and ask them about their journeys. Their stories can remind you that growth is not only possible, but also deeply rewarding. Ultimately, recognizing your personal growth potential means embracing life as a continuous journey of learning and improvement. You won't always have the answers, and that's okay. What matters is your willingness to try, fail, and try again. Growth isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself and choosing to move forward, even when it feels hard. When you stop fearing discomfort and start viewing it as a necessary part of your growth, you'll discover a profound sense of empowerment. You'll realize that the very challenges you once avoided are the ones shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Life will never be completely free of struggle, but with the right mindset, those struggles can become the foundation of your greatest strengths. One of the most significant yet underutilized tools for personal growth is neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to adapt and reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. However, when people cling to a fixed mindset, resisting change, or avoiding learning new skills, they fail to harness this innate capability. This unwillingness to embrace growth often leads to mental stagnation, frustration, and a feeling of being stuck in life. Neuroplasticity is what allows us to grow and adapt throughout our lives. It's the reason we can learn to play an instrument, develop resilience after setbacks, or shift our perspective on challenges. Yet, when we believe that our intelligence, talents, or abilities are static, we close ourselves off from this transformative power. A fixed mindset whispers thoughts like, "I'll never be good at this," or "I'm too old to learn something new." Over time, these beliefs create self-imposed barriers that stifle progress and fulfillment. One of the most damaging aspects of failing to leverage neuroplasticity is the cycle of self-doubt it creates. Each time you avoid trying something new or challenging, you reinforce the idea that you're incapable of growth. This mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, where avoidance leads to missed opportunities which further erode confidence. It's a vicious loop that keeps you stuck in the same patterns, never tapping into your potential. The solution to breaking free from this cycle begins with cultivating a growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. This simple shift in perspective can unlock your brain's incredible potential for transformation. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," reframe it to, "I'm not good at this yet." The addition of that single word, "yet," opens the door to possibility and signals your brain to seek solutions rather than limitations. Taking small, deliberate steps to challenge your current capabilities is a powerful way to activate neuroplasticity. Start with a skill or habit you've always wanted to develop, but have avoided out of fear or doubt. Whether it's learning a new language, picking up a hobby, or tackling a work-related challenge, the act of engaging in something unfamiliar stimulates new neural pathways in the brain. With consistent practice, these pathways strengthen, making the task feel easier and more natural over time. Another essential aspect of leveraging neuroplasticity is embracing failure as part of the process. Too often, people fear failure because they see it as a sign of incompetence or inadequacy. In reality, failure is one of the most effective ways to learn and grow. Every time you struggle with a new skill, your brain adjusts and adapts, creating stronger connections. Instead of fearing failure, view it as evidence that you're actively working toward improvement. Mindfulness and reflection can also play a key role in breaking free from mental stagnation. By regularly reflecting on your thoughts, habits, and beliefs, you can identify areas where a fixed mindset might be holding you back. For example, ask yourself, what's one thing I've always told myself I couldn't do? Why do I believe that? What small step could I take toward proving myself wrong? This kind of introspection helps you recognize and challenge limiting beliefs, paving the way for growth. It's also vital to surround yourself with environments and people that encourage learning and adaptation. Seek out mentors, join groups of like-minded learners, or expose yourself to new ideas through books, podcasts, or classes. The more you immerse yourself in growth-oriented environments, the easier it becomes to adopt a mindset of curiosity and resilience. The Stoics, too, understood the importance of adaptability. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom reminds us that our thoughts and perceptions are within our control. By embracing the idea that we can change and grow, we take charge of our mental landscape, unlocking the boundless potential of our minds. Ultimately, leveraging neuroplasticity is about giving yourself permission to evolve. It's about recognizing that no matter your age, background, or current circumstances, you have the capacity to learn, adapt, and thrive. Each small step you take toward growth compounds over time, transforming not just your skills, but your confidence, perspective, and overall fulfillment. The journey begins the moment you choose to believe in the power of your own mind. Fear and anxiety are emotions deeply rooted in our survival instinct, designed to protect us from danger. But when unmanaged, these emotions can spiral into overwhelming forces that paralyze progress and block us from living a fulfilling life. For many, fear and anxiety become an invisible cage, locking them in a cycle of avoidance, doubt, and stagnation. Unmanaged fear often stems from our perception of the unknown or uncertainty about the future. It's not always about tangible dangers. It could be fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of not being enough. Anxiety, on the other hand, thrives on what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, amplifying the stress of even the smallest challenges. Together, they create a loop. Fear prevents action, which reinforces anxiety, and the lack of action further deepens the grip of fear. The result is often a life lived on pause. You may procrastinate on opportunities, avoid stepping outside your comfort zone, or struggle with decision-making because the weight of what-if feels unbearable. This paralysis not only hampers personal growth, but also erodes self-esteem. Each time you let fear dictate your choices, it whispers, "See, you weren't strong enough." Over time, this belief solidifies, making it harder to break free. The first step in managing fear and anxiety is understanding that they are not the enemy. Both emotions are signals, your mind's way of highlighting areas where you feel uncertain or vulnerable. Instead of suppressing these feelings or berating yourself for experiencing them, start by acknowledging their presence. Say to yourself, "I feel fear because this matters to me," or "I'm anxious because I care about the outcome." This reframes fear and anxiety as indicators of value rather than barriers. Next, it's essential to ground yourself in the present moment. Anxiety thrives on future-oriented thoughts, pulling your mind into a web of hypothetical situations that rarely come true. Practices like mindfulness and controlled breathing can help anchor you in the now, reducing the intensity of anxious thoughts. Try this. When you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and exhale for 4 counts. Repeat this cycle several times, focusing solely on your breath. This simple exercise signals your nervous system to calm down, creating space for clearer thinking. Breaking fear into manageable pieces is another effective strategy. Often, fear feels insurmountable because we view it as one massive obstacle. Instead, dissect it. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could realistically happen? How would I handle it if it did? Then, identify the smallest action you can take toward confronting that fear. For example, if you're afraid of public speaking, Your first step might be practicing a speech in front of a mirror or recording yourself. These small victories build confidence and reduce the power fear holds over you. Stoic philosophy offers profound insights into managing fear and anxiety. Epictetus taught, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." This reminds us that fear is often less about the situation itself and more about our interpretation of it. By changing how we perceive challenges, we can shift our emotional response. Instead of viewing fear as a stop sign, see it as a guidepost pointing you toward growth. A powerful tool in managing fear and anxiety is visualization, not of failure, but of resilience. Instead of fixating on what could go wrong, imagine yourself facing a challenge with strength and grace. Picture yourself succeeding, or at the very least, learning from the experience. Visualization primes your mind for action, reducing the hold of anxiety and replacing it with a sense of preparedness. Building a support system can also be transformative. Fear and anxiety often feel isolating, but sharing your concerns with trusted friends, mentors, or even therapists can provide perspective and reassurance. Sometimes, simply voicing your fears out loud diminishes their intensity, making them feel more manageable. Finally, embrace the idea that growth requires discomfort. Fear and anxiety are inevitable companions on the journey to a meaningful life. Rather than resisting them, see them as signs that you're stepping into new territory. Territory where growth happens. As Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." By acknowledging fear, grounding yourself in the present, and taking small steps forward, you begin to dismantle its grip. Each act of courage, no matter how small, builds resilience, making it easier to face future challenges. Over time, you'll find that fear and anxiety no longer control you. They become catalysts for strength and transformation. Living without deliberate practices like gratitude, mindfulness, or intention setting is like navigating life without a map. It's easy to drift, to feel aimless, and to wonder why, despite putting in effort, fulfillment always seems just out of reach. Without routines that anchor your mind and set a course for your day, life can feel chaotic and devoid of purpose, as if you're constantly reacting to events rather than shaping them. The absence of deliberate practices often leaves people feeling like passengers in their own lives. Days blur into weeks, filled with distractions, obligations, and the relentless pull of external demands. Without moments of pause and reflection, it's hard to identify what truly matters or to connect with the things that bring meaning and joy. This disconnection can lead to a sense of emptiness, where even achievements or successes feel hollow because they weren't pursued with intention. One of the most powerful remedies for this aimlessness is practicing gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing in your life to what's already present. It helps you see the abundance around you, even in the smallest things. A warm meal, a kind word, or a moment of peace. Studies have shown that regularly practicing gratitude can rewire your brain, increasing serotonin levels and fostering a sense of contentment and well-being. To integrate gratitude into your life, start with a simple daily habit. Each evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be grand or profound. They just need to be sincere. Over time, this practice trains your mind to naturally seek the positive, creating a buffer against feelings of lack or dissatisfaction. Mindfulness is another deliberate practice that can transform your sense of purpose and presence. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to operate on autopilot, missing the richness of life as it unfolds. Mindfulness invites you to slow down and fully engage with the present moment. Whether it's savoring your morning coffee, noticing the rhythm of your breath, or taking a walk without distractions, mindfulness helps you connect with the here and now. This practice isn't about escaping reality, but embracing it fully, with all its imperfections. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Setting intentions is another cornerstone of deliberate living. An intention isn't the same as a goal. It's a guiding principle or a value you commit to embodying throughout your day. While goals focus on outcomes, intentions focus on the process, how you want to show up in the world. For example, instead of setting a goal to complete a project at work, you might set an intention to approach your tasks with focus and patience. Intentions anchor your actions in meaning, turning even mundane tasks into opportunities for growth and alignment with your values. To cultivate deliberate practices, start small. Choose one practice, gratitude, mindfulness, or intention setting, and integrate it into your daily routine. For example, you could begin your day by setting an intention during your morning coffee, or end it by jotting down a few moments of gratitude before bed. As these practices become habitual, you'll notice how they create a ripple effect, influencing your mindset, relationships, and overall sense of fulfillment. Deliberate practices act as a compass, helping you navigate life with clarity and purpose. They remind you that happiness and meaning aren't found in the big milestones alone, but in the small, conscious moments that fill your days. By committing to these practices, you reclaim a sense of agency, transforming life from a series of reactions to a purposeful journey shaped by your choices and values. Join our journey into Stoic wisdom and discover how to live with intention, resilience, and inner peace. By subscribing, you take the first step toward mastering your mind and overcoming life's challenges with strength and clarity. Share your commitment in the comments below by writing, "I embrace the path of reason and purpose." Together, let's build a life guided by virtue and grounded in unshakable principles.